And so I went fishing, and I was just like, fuck it. And so that's kind of the way it goes, you know what I mean? But, back to the vagina mouse that y'all have. And
Hey, look, just because you look at me and my mouth looks pretty in your mind doesn't mean you can insult me, okay?
Telling me that goatee is looking sharp now, Poppy.
It's kind of got that turkey beard, kind of thing.
He's like cutting it with like trimming it to a point and everything. It's looking
man. In fact, if you would do the bottom part to match the top part, so it goes like this, and then the bottom goes up like this, and then turn your mouth sideways. I'm just saying, man.
Doesn't Pop B look like the guy from Braveheart, the crazy Irishman, a little bit with that goatee?
I got a question for you.
It's my island. Say it.
You ever been going to the bathroom? You wipe so hard it starts bleeding, but you don't stop because it feels so good. Me neither.
What are live, right?
What are you doing? By the way, we are live.
We are live.
I know we are.
Lady Smith, Missouri, Mac.
What's going on, everybody?
Live insults. Yes. Yeah. My feelings are hurt, and I'm leaving to my safe space.
Right.
Oh, he's hiding.
I don't even have an icon anymore.
No, you sound good. Well, welcome to Fuh-Kit Friday, Wargame Edition with these fellas.
Look pretty cool, though.
Oh. Hey, that one part where you were running and shit, was you running to get a motherfucking sandwich or what?
I was, dog. I was starving out there.
Right.
I was so hungry. That's what I picture, out melted cheese on panini.
Right. When you be working like that, man, running and shit, man, you got to run for a motherfucking sandwich, right?
Hell yeah.
Lady Smith says nice green screen touch.
Boy, that background is so perfect.
Today.
You got that nice camera.
Yeah, well, that shit's looking really clear, actually, Hutch.
That's what I do.
What's up, everybody in chat? How y'all doing, man? We've been kind of chaotic and shit. We were being chaotic backstage, and then Red Dawn was like, "Fuck it, bam," and just hit the live, man, while we were just right in the middle.
We did find out though that apparently Red Dawn doesn't fuck with this kind of people, is what we've established.
True. True.
No, I don't share like straws and shit with grown men. That's just
I'm not trying to share a milkshake with you. What the fuck are you talking?
That's what it sounds like.
What the fuck? What? I mean, what the hell do you think about Hutch, man? I mean,
there's a lady had tramped this bitch.
Hutch, you want a little of my whipped cream?
I'm good, bro. I don't fuck with people like that. You know what I mean?
It is a fucking
damn.
Roots.
Roots Maccabeus. What's up, my brother?
Hey, can I just say, before I go squirrel, I know I seen some people in here who asked me earlier. I got a strike the other day.
Damn.
So I'm in jail for a week, but I don't know when I got it. I tried to find the email earlier and I couldn't find it. So I was like, 3 or 4 more days. So I'm in jail, so no videos, but I got one that's ready to go as soon as I get out.
So did you know this, Red Dawn?
Huh?
That Hutch had a strike. I
didn't know.
I was just wondering the way you were kind of coming on to him earlier, if you were trying to get a conjugal visit or whatever.
Conjugal? I don't know them big words where I come from. What the hell's conjugal mean?
I don't know. I just
it's the dippity do, man. The dicky do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm trying not to.
There you go.
We have our favorite modern frontiersman.
I thought,
Welcome to the sausage party, y'all.
I don't know if I got it from one
So
of you guys, but
I posted a short and I also got a warning, but this warning was so severe of a warning that all of a sudden it popped up on my thing that says you are not eligible for monetization anymore.
Was it the music? I get those all the time. Anytime you do music, you'll get that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I posted a short of the kid who I guess looked like Thomas Matthew Crooks.
Oh yeah, they're not. Yeah, you're a lot of them. They ain't gonna let you. Yeah. Man,
Yeah.
stop worrying about that shit, bro.
I don't care anymore.
Just post your videos, man, and
That's what
post
we're
what
doing.
you want to post. Don't let YouTube control you by money, man. That's buying into the fucking fuck that.
Yeah, fuck it.
I didn't fire you, Ohio. You just got outsourced.
Man, you told me you fired her, man. You was like, man, she ain't been very tough lately.
I don't know if you've heard his speech on how he chooses moderators, but
Yeah.
it's very harsh criteria.
it's rotated too, like Russian roulette.
Yeah.
And if you don't do your job right, he shows up at your house. It's very scary.
Well,
If you want a good response, show up in his live and ask to be a moderator. He loves that.
some of the what's up, Sophia, Monique, Teresa, Roots,
Yankee.
Yankee,
Maverick
Lady
Silver.
Sophia B, Gunslingers in the house. There's some people that were in here early. Let me go back to the front. Who's first? Gunslinger.
Gunslinger, what's up?
Technically, he
Minuteman.
wasn't first because I came in here when there was 5 hours left because I was going to take a nap because this is way past my fucking bedtime. But I can't remember who it was. But there was 2 people before Gunslinger. I can't remember who the fuck they were, but I know that they were there. I'm just saying.
All right, let me see.
They must
Maybe
have deleted what they said.
No, after a certain amount of time, it only goes back so far.
What's up, Pilgrim?
so. There's an auto-generated experiment on the chat. Like when I pull it up, it's weird, bro. YouTube be doing weird shit.
I've been trying to tell him that, Johnny, but the host, he don't care what we got to say.
Let's
What
talk
was
about some conspiracies.
Yeah.
It's all about conspiracies, though, because conspiracies are, if they're true or not. And since everything we say is fucking facts now, it's really hard to dive into conspiracies. You know what I mean? All we're doing is telling stories of what happened.
This channel is based on post-apocalyptic fiction. So
it's fiction.
by fiction we mean most likely true. And yeah, 1 shooter, 2 shooters, 3 shooters. How many shooters were there?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I saw your video, the thumbnail in the headline, but I did not watch it. And I seen 1,000 other ones. And I gathered that there was a water tower, but I literally had zero interest in it. I was so over it the day that we did it because I knew it was gonna be pounded down our fucking throats. You know what I mean? No offense to anybody who wants to talk about it. I'm just saying it was too much for me because it was every fucking where. No,
Legally Armed America just did another video on it today with some forensic guy, and he's saying that the 2 shooters were the kid on the roof, and then there was someone in the building shooting at him, which Secret Service was supposed to be in that building. So
No, it was not secret. They passed it off to I forgot what they called it, but it's basically like
The CIA.
exactly
Hillary Clinton's security team.
supposed to be kind of like a high-end law enforcement agency. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, some kind of special unit or whatever.
almost like
They were inside the building, and I'm just look. I said this early on the Radioactive podcast. I'm gonna say it now. We're in a fucking coup. We're in a coup in this country. They started the real physical part of the coup in 2020 when they stole the fucking election. When they did what they did, this is a coup on the United States, and but it has to be called that. It's treasonous, But they stole the election. They fucking come in and. Now they're going to do everything they can because so many people are waking up right now. So many fucking people are waking up, and that's why. I know a lot of other people had called it too, so I'm not trying to say I was the first one. I'm just saying, back when me and Nation very first started a Radioactive podcast, the very first episode, I think it was, I said we are going to see an assassination attempt on Trump before the election.
You did.
And you know, so all this shit, man, you can see it coming. You can see it. You got to understand what's going on. We are in a coup, and they are going to try to take out the president. You know, there's so much evidence came out. I just read some more shit earlier today where there was one of the ballot boxes had a security camera on it. You know, and well, I guess they're all supposed to. Anyway, the ballot box had a security camera on it, and it got 19,000 votes from that one ballot box. And there were only 24 people that showed up to the ballot box. That was it. There was only 24 people that put shit in the ballot box. And there were 19,000 votes, man. That's just.
I think it was Wisconsin that just opened back up the mail-in ballot bullshit like a couple weeks ago.
But I understand this. My personal opinion, this is a fucking coup that we're going through, and everybody better take this shit really fucking serious of what's going on. And all you people out there talking about, I ain't voting, fuck that shit, I ain't doing it, I ain't doing that. Well, you know what? You're part of the motherfucking problem. You know, people need to get more involved, and people need to be to where. We're not. You got to understand, man. These motherfuckers, if they're allowed to get away with what they did in 2020, the Democrats. I'm telling you right now, these motherfuckers are going to start showing up at your doorstep, and all these motherfuckers coming across the border. How do you think they're going to do when the government comes to them? Because they already have been, and say, "Hey, you be on our team, we'll hook you up. You take these motherfuckers out because they're the ones that want to get you out of here. We want to keep you here." What do you think they're going to fucking do?
Here's a brand new Daniel Defense with an EO tech on it because we hand them out like candy bars.
Yeah, Daniel Defense mostly, yeah.
Yeah. And we're definitely in. I still don't know how Trump's going to get in with what they have the capabilities of. And I think they want to rub it in your fucking nose like a dog who shits on the couch. They want to take that us and rub our fucking nose in it and say, what you gonna do? Yeah. What y'all gonna do? Y'all ain't gonna do shit. Watch. And then the people that, you know, last time you saw, you just go fucking protesting with no guns, nothing, just walking around the Capitol, which we have the right to. Your ass is gonna be thrown in the gulag. So it's real serious right now. And if that bullet would have veered, what's up, John Crump? Good to see you, John Crump News. Good to see you, Maccabeus. I seen you out there, Maverick.
What's up, Sophie?
Can we do a poll in the chat real quick? How many of you people in the chat already know who you're going to vote for governor-wise this year? A 1 for you already know, 2 for you haven't decided yet.
I don't anymore. I had an idea, and now I'm all thrown around. I got to do some research.
I for the Missouri folks, me and Pop B are from America, the only state that matters, Missouri.
No.
And there's 3 choices, but I'm not. There's Ashcroft. Not a fan. Hate everything about him.
Yeah.
So he will be a definite no. So it's what, Kohler and
Bill Eigel.
Yeah, Eigel.
And what did you say, the Kanohi or whatever?
Yeah.
Isn't governor every other, like, isn't the governor the 2 years after the presidency?
It's
they're all
governor's every 2 years, I do believe, because you can only do a 6-year term as governor. That's why we don't have the dude that we got as governor now. He can't run for a second term because he's already did half he only got in because the original governor got kicked out. So he took up half of his time.
I'm a one-issue voter, and it's all about the Second Amendment, because if you stand for the Second Amendment, you stand for individual liberties and fucking people's rights. And that's all I need to know. I don't need to even know shit else about what the fuck you like. As long as you don't take our right to defend ourselves, you can go fucking down Rainbow Road if you want to on Mario Kart. I really could
see. That's the problem. Is these, I've only seen one ad so far that wasn't an attack ad on somebody else, and they were actually saying what they stood for. Everything else I've seen has been, don't vote for this guy because he did this and this guy did this. Vote for me. Boom, and that's the end.
That shit should be banned.
If
you can't tell me one fucking thing you stand for in 2 minutes, then you shouldn't get 2 minutes.
Hell, the one dude, the only thing he wants to run on is, I'm Trump's attorney. Okay, and what the fuck's that supposed to mean? You know?
How come everybody only knows Alina Habba? They don't even know you.
Country club turd.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of digging me some Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Hell yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I'm digging her, man. She's on it. She ain't fucking around, man.
Yeah, Roots, it feels like we're on the rainbow stage on Mario Kart. That's what it feels like, with that annoying ass music.
The coolest fucking thing, man, that she's done here lately is she signed a law or whatever, signed executive order or whatever. Anyway, China has to give up all their we're giving them money, what they paid for it. We're giving the money back to them. They can't own property in Arkansas anymore.
Hell yeah, kick their ass the fuck out.
Yeah,
she did like a year ago, didn't she?
Let me ask you guys a question. So we all love Roots, and Roots says she's not red or blue. Best description is a constitutionalist. Does anyone feel like there's anyone on the blue that gives a flying shit about the Constitution? I know some red people don't, but who thinks any blue person gives a shit about the Constitution? Maybe one or two, like a Joe Manchin.
I don't really give two shits about the Constitution. I'm a Bill of Rights person, and that's where it ends for me. I don't give two shits about the Constitution.
Isn't that considered still part of the Constitution?
No. One's a mission statement, one's a set of guidelines put together.
That mission statement's badass, though.
That's what I'm saying. I'll follow the mission statement. I don't care what the people 200 years ago agreed on. You know what I mean? Because we can see it can be corrupted so easy, so it doesn't mean shit. I won't fight for the Constitution. I'll fight for the Bill of Rights. No matter what laws you put in place, I'm a free man at the end of the day, so it don't matter for me. You know what I mean? One of those kind of things.
What about you, Pop B? How you feel about that?
I don't have a lot of faith in any politicians. I'm taking it by term. So for everything, like even for the governor, I'm torn.
Would you vote for someone that's a Democrat?
Would I? Most likely not, because I think they'd side with libertarian, 100%.
Sure, libertarian.
I vote for a different party, but the problem that we're creatures of habit, and we have this bad thing where we have to pick our team. You know, it's the Chiefs and the Cowboys, which are left or the right. It's the red and the blue, and if you don't pick a side, you don't want to be on the losing side. And libertarians never freaking win.
Wait, hold on. Did you just dog out the Cowboys by calling them blue and referring to them as Democrats?
Well, yeah, they're terrible.
That's some bullshit, man, and I take offense to that.
Okay, well,
they feel like liberal to me. They feel very liberal to me for Cowboys.
Kansas City Chiefs. How about that? They've been fucking cheating, man.
I'm not pro NFL, but what team
isn't Taylor Swift a big fan of the Kansas City Chiefs?
We don't have to talk about that.
Isn't she like the biggest fan of the Chiefs?
What team does Arkansas have? I forgot.
Razorbacks.
The Razorbacks.
I think she's just a fan of a tight end's ass. I don't think she's a fan of the Chiefs. But
yeah,
well,
that was a Pfizer hookup, and
yeah, right. Like, oh, you made $20 million that easy? Let's do this.
Right.
All right. So I'm gonna make a stand on this. I'm not saying that I'm for the two-party system or any of that shit. The one thing though about voting for Republicans is that you can at least say, what the flying shit are you doing? Our rights. Like, you know how this shit works. You're part of the Republic. where the Democrats are part of. They don't even know the word republic. So like I get you, they both suck. But if you had to pick one of the ones that suck worse, there's no way I could ever see myself voting for someone who's a Democrat.
Hey, Will's Diary.
But everything changes, though. You know what I mean? That's the nature of our American culture. That's the nature of politics. Eventually it will get back. It might not be in our lifetime. It might be, but eventually it will get back around to a more centrist kind of system.
For everyone that says they wouldn't vote for a Democrat, are you saying that Trump has always been a registered Republican?
Right. Whatever.
He's as Republican as we're gonna get right now. So
well, I'll tell you right now.
Moderate.
I'll tell you right now. Our sheriff.
Oh, sorry.
Our sheriff is a Democrat. I voted for him because he's one of them old school, whatever they called them.
He one of them Joe Manchin type Democrats.
Well, he's all about, like I've walked in the store past him, with my gun on my sight, and this is back, for a good while. He's never said a word. He's cool with that shit. You know what I mean? He's all about some guns and shit. He's cool with that shit.
Yeah, what Reed said right there. Today's conservatives are 90s Democrats. The parties have both gone extreme.
Yeah, I agree. We need to abolish the two-party system completely. I don't give a shit what party you're on. You need to come up with some shit to say. And if we like it, cool. If we don't like it, fuck off.
Well, what Gunslinger said a while ago, that's kind of how I was trying to think of how to say that, about the whole, the constitutionalist or whatever. That's kind of how I was trying to think of. It's a package deal to me.
It is
the Bill of Rights. Obviously, I mean that's we've got a Bill of Rights and we see how they mistreat us. Imagine if we didn't have a Bill of Rights, what they would do. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of
we'd be Australia.
Yeah, pretty much. And so
we would be.
No offense, Canada.
That's a good way to put it. 67 man, that it's a package deal for me. That's kind of the way. That's where I'm at on it.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. I find a distinction between the two.
Yeah, there's a distinction.
I think for me, the Bill of Rights stops at the 10th Amendment. After that, fuck all that other shit.
But I mean, in one hand, but I mean, on the other hand, it's kind of all the same thing. It's basically all of that shit. That whole ordeal is explaining not to us that we have rights. It's explaining to the government of what they can't do to us and the rights that we do have. That was the intention.
But then we all F that up because we're like, yeah, this is going to explain what the government can and cannot do. Can we have you guys interpret it for us? Thank you.
Exactly.
Fantastic. I don't see a single problem with this.
That's why
it's like them investigating themselves in these situations. Same shit.
Same reason they pass laws that don't pertain to them, and we're like, oh, it's okay, it's all right.
And I think every government employee should pay taxes too. Fuck that.
Oh, they should pay taxes.
I don't think they do.
God's law and man's law, Phil R. Well, I will tell you this, that God did say obey the laws of the land, so God did instruct you to follow man's law.
Give to Caesar what's Caesar's.
Yep, render under Caesar what is Caesar's. Don't
forget the second part there. And give to God what is God's.
And give to God, yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
1,000%.
By the end of that, you're broke, right?
Yeah, 2A is the only thing holding this land together. And it's 2A is also keeping the morons, all these cults that have become part of America, at bay as well.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I love when you disagree.
2A is not what's holding this together. Them making tons of fucking money is what's holding this together. They are cheating us with every fucking dime and nickel and penny. They all these taxes and shit, man. You know, they can find you down to $600 fucking dollars you're making, man, and
That's
you know
ridiculous.
that's what's keeping them from going full blown, because they know that we still most human beings, but especially Americans, have kind of a warrior spirit. A lot of them do, and they know that there will be revolt. I mean, even you got to even say that the leftists, these real leftist lunatics, they've got a warrior spirit, bud. I'm telling you,
They do.
they don't mind to fucking get down. Yeah, when you start throwing hands back, a lot of them run away, but they're not fucked up about starting it. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah, I mean, but
said
you
earlier.
see the areas where the Patriots show up and be like, nah, this shit ain't going down like this, and that's when.
well, I know I'm one of them patriots that showed up
I know.
somewhere, and shit didn't happen where we
That's what
showed
I'm
up.
saying. So
And
that 2A coming out there with that 2A, they go like the cockroaches when you turn the lights on.
I understand that, but right now it's the money. Because if you don't think the government has a lot of fucking armament, man, do you not remember all the guns and the bug out bags and all the fucking millions of rounds of ammo, hollow points that they were buying? Do you think that shit was for target practice?
And the guillotines and the fucking
Hey,
things that they had from that Jesse Ventura came out with back on his show way back when.
now
All
hollow
the caskets.
points for practice is actually becoming a thing.
Yeah,
They
it
forced
should
us
be.
all to use hollow points when we had to give up all of our ball ammunition and get rid of that shit and change it over and shoot what we loaded.
I thought you couldn't use hollow points in the
Okay,
military.
I'm sorry. I went
that was-
overboard.
that
The
was-
government ain't trying to kill us. I apologize.
Thank you. See, they're good people.
Yeah, they serve the community. They're community servants.
You know,
They're
they're,
community servants.
I mean, when they show up 7 or 8 deep, you know, in 2 SUVs, man, they're not. I mean, they're there to see how you're doing today, you know, and to
And you got to remember that the statistics are just numbers of gun owners. There is probably 50% on that list who are the opposite mindset of you. Just because there's 10 million guns in America doesn't mean it's 10 million fucking patriots.
You
So-
know what I
I'd say the average gun owner owns at least 3 guns.
'Cause
So you
I know a lot of people who are on the other side, and they motherfuckers got arsenals. That's, you know what I mean. The stereotypes of hood people can't shoot, limp wristed people can't shoot. They ain't bullshit. Y'all keep thinking that if you want to.
Pot B, you can back that up. Remember me showing you that armed equality that night?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I seen
yeah,
it.
yeah,
You sent
yeah.
it to me.
Yeah.
That
Didn't you say they were sponsored by Magpul?
there's some people some high ups that work at Magpul that are in their group. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, there's all kinds of people. You could go. Okay, you remember OAF Nation, the Facebook thing, OAF Nation? They used to post like badass military videos and things like that a long time ago, back in like fucking early
97.
Explain a couple of videos.
on. Okay, early on when the freaking Iraq and Afghanistan wars were going on, yet OAF Nation,
Right.
they would post the videos. It was all like that, hoorah kind of stuff. And you go through their stuff now. He's very political and he's very left. And the people in his crowd are very left. And the people that follow that are shooters. The people that follow that were military. There's a big divide. There's a lot of leftists. A lot of leftists in the military and that kind of career path. Not just saying military, but like shooters, like he was saying, like Hutch was saying. There's a lot of dudes that know what they're doing. And just as easy as we can point out all the limp-wristed idiots that can't do shit on one side, I'm pretty sure we could do a handful of the ones on our side that are,
Oh yeah.
can't make it out the door and off their couch.
Facts.
So we're not going to be fighting them. We're going to be the ones that are, wanting to get out there and draw blood for whatever reason. But I like how we used to say that the Second Amendment if the Second Amendment goes, then the First Amendment goes. Like, motherfucker, the First Amendment been going for a while. The Second Amendment didn't stop shit for that.
Didn't stop shit for that.
No.
Well, the Second Amendment actually means nothing if you don't really apply it for its application.
Well, nothing does. I mean, that's the point. That's the Second Amendment was supposed to be the teeth for the rest of the Constitution and bill, the Bill of Rights and this stuff and the amendments and everything. And
no, they did. They put they fed all that teeth a bunch of sugar, dog. You know what happens if you eat too much sugar? What happens to the teeth? That's what happened to the teeth.
I know.
Happy.
Yeah.
Well, it's all about bread and circus, man. This shit is so wild, man, because you can go and research this, and we have found so much evidence of this stuff over time. Other people, you know what I'm saying? We all have. Big Chap, another one. What's up, Big Chap?
What's up, Big Chap?
He digs down them rabbit holes too, man. And dude, you can find a lot of evidence. They've been doing this shit for years, man, planning this shit and
hell yeah,
working this shit out, man. Starting to eventually take over the schools, taking over these polling areas, doing,
controlling the whole internet, scrubbing the internet.
Yeah, buying up all these big companies, man. It's really funny because they always talk about the elite, the 1% or whatever, paying their fair share of taxes, and they shouldn't have all that money. But yet it's all, there's a lot of fucking Democrats, man, that are a lot of people with big money are Democrats, man.
But they're not talking about those big money people. They're talking about the people that are making it in a different way that pay taxes, not dividends, but pay like, you know what I mean? Like self-made, like,
man, they're talking about all
sole proprietors that are starting a business that are making $500,000, but they're paying all of
But
it.
I'm saying their base is talking about all of them.
Yeah.
They're talking about
the
other ones you're talking about.
Yeah.
Communists.
We forget communists, they play the long game. It's not about the person, it's about the party. That's why we keep getting our asses whooped and keep fucking the conservative Republicans. Yeah. They ask for a mile and we give them a mile and a half on every negotiation, every fucking time. And this shit's, they know 20, 30 years in advance how they want to move, how they can orchestrate, put in some fucking earmarks here and some earmarks here, a little loophole here, a little red tape here. Mm-hmm. Next thing they know, they've got the next 15 years locked up on 3 different industries.
So I got a question. Long-winded real quick. You've got Biden people saying he was going to drop out, and then I've seen posts from him saying he's ready to campaign again. He's getting better and he's not sick anymore. So
I think that's just PR stunt.
Yeah, I think he's dropping out.
They're not going to say it until he actually drops out. If they said it now, think how much shit would go crazy. Who are they going to pick?
Did they let the dog run away too far, and he doesn't know how to get out of the box, and he's like, "I'm still running the campaign."
They missed the headshot, and now he's dropping out like the next week.
Yeah, like, oh god, I gotta get out of here because it's not working anymore.
We'll know he's dropping out on Sunday.
You think so? This Sunday?
Yep.
I figured it would be within a week.
It'll be this month.
Yeah, it'll be this month.
I mean, the only way you could steal the election is if he changed. Because if you kept the same person, you already know there's even the freaking Kill Tony you sent me. Every person he fucking asked, who are you gonna vote for? Fucking Trump.
Yeah,
bro, that Kill Tony was hilarious.
They were going off on him. I was like, that's every demographic that was going on.
Dude, that guy, he played such a good Trump in that Kill Tony.
Oh, it was really funny. It was the only part that was funny was the 2 actors on the panel.
Yeah, it was.
That was a weak fucking bucket pool on that week.
Dude, it was bad.
It was bad. So Poppy, do you happen to have that plate?
Why you want to bring up some bad memories, man?
It ain't that's a good memory. My boy's here. Dude. Without that plate, he wouldn't be here right now to show it off.
What if it gives him insomnia every time he touches it?
He wouldn't keep it right there. Then
and he goes upstairs and kicks the shit out of his animals and whips his children.
Right.
I don't think he's that soft. He's a tough guy.
I've seen him punch a dog in the throat before.
So we were talking about armor and wearing your kit, when to wear your kit. That is a 50 BMG
No, it's a 51. It's a Dishka. If this was a slap round, I'd be dead. If it was like ours, because I mean their rounds are.
All right, it's a 51.
Yeah, it's a Dishka round, but they're not packed like ours.
Was it a ricochet? Wow. Was it a ricochet or direct hit?
Well, that depends on who you talk to.
Gotcha.
Because the angle that it came in and shot up was from where it happened, and there's nothing to ricochet in between to hit me from where I was standing.
Gotcha.
I've got a buddy I served with who's like, no, it's fucking bro. I was like, all right, whatever, dude, I don't care. It is what it is. If it was one of our rounds though, it would have freaking
750 grains.
It would have been fantastic.
Y'all don't know this about Pop B, but he is half cyborg. The entire left side of his body is like nanobots and shit.
He was the first trial for RoboCop.
He gives really hot, cold hugs. It's really weird, man.
Here's Sophia.
Oh yeah, Sophia. I'm glad you brought it back. Look at that thing. I bet you that didn't hurt at all. Do you have a scar from that?
I have a dent in my back.
Oh, that was the back plate?
Yeah.
Holy shenanigans. Did you have a trauma pad in between that and the plate?
No, you have that. It was in my interceptor vest.
But you don't have like the trauma pad that goes on the, like, normally it's a trauma pad now and then the plate.
Trauma pad with like AR-500 plates, because you have to have that freaking that release from like that impact. You know what I mean? But it was just the. I mean, there's like padding inside the interceptor. You know what I mean? But it's no, I didn't have like an extra like sheet or anything like that.
Wow.
But
that's unbelievable.
Got to be up in this bitch.
Yeah, right. I hope you. Continue.
All right.
I'm gonna look up something for you.
That's what I'm saying, Crunchy Mom.
By the way, y'all need to understand that's actually, he has a plate. Have you not seen Pop B, man? He has a plate for each side of his ass cheek, and that actually hit him in the ass cheek. He's got a dent.
He's out here catching strays on the backside.
I've got a second.
He's got to protect the Brazilian butt lift that he got.
Hell yeah, man. I wish I had that kind of money.
Yankee, this is a fact check, true. I just didn't want to put it out there like that.
I thought the left side of Pop B was a Japanese love robot. That's his lower half.
He loved you long time.
Did he tag you on his OnlyFans, Red Dawn?
Yeah, I always go back to the feet ones though, with the jelly and the.
Remember what I said earlier?
You know, I got a buddy back here. We've always joked about doing feet pics on OnlyFans. We're like, let's do it, man. You shave my toes. We'll fucking have Jello toe fights and stuff. Like, we're gonna make some freaking money. We're broke, man.
Yeah, that's the running joke in my house when the bills are short. It's like, OnlyFans?
Oh wait, we're joking?
Jelly feet?
This is a very strange panel.
It really is.
So Pop B, do you have any leftover War Game Wednesday scenarios?
I've got a laundry list of them.
Ooh.
That's Pop B, man. You really asked Red Dawn, son. You need to. We're gonna keep pulling you along, brother. We're gonna get you there, man.
It's for the post-apocalyptic fiction show.
It's Pop B. He knows.
Staging it for the audience. So Pop B, like, obvious. I've talked to him. I know he's got a playbook in there.
Let me get something for you. Hold up.
See, when me and Hutch talk to Pop B, it's like, hey man, give us one of them scenarios, because we know he's got 100,000.
No, but I'm more entertaining than you guys. I'm not as cool. I'm not as cool.
Not even close.
The violence.
Like, you might be entertaining, man. You know, us watching you fix a sandwich or something. But other than that, that would be kind of entertaining. You know.
Make me a sandwich, bitch.
I'm only here for the diversity in my channels.
Jesus.
Did y'all
has DEI requirements on his channel?
Did they really?
I saw he put a video up. It was like, guess who visited me? The feds. No joke. But I didn't watch it. I see the thumbnails and the titles, and it just didn't pull me in. You know what I mean?
Whose videos?
Angry Prepper.
Oh, his Fed friends came over to see him. I mean, he got hit by the Fed.
I haven't really watched a lot of his videos lately. It's been some years since I've had him on a regular watch stream.
Well, man, I feel like before it's over with, a bunch of us are probably going to get visited. They're going to try to find something on you, man. I just say, sit them down and be like, yeah, man. I want to invite them into the shop and sit them down and be like, yeah, man, what y'all doing? And then when they say, I'll be really, man, have y'all ever thought about the fact that there's this thing called popcorn chicken? And you know, it kind of gets kind of confusing sometimes, man, because you think it's popcorn, but it's really chicken. And so then you start to eat the popcorn chicken. And then when you get really high, man, you can start to imagine that it's popcorn that you're eating. And so you just have popcorn chicken. And so you can kind of switch back and forth, man. Kind of like, you know, it's allowed these days.
You know about that popcorn chicken?
Popcorn chicken, boy.
There you go.
Kind of like butterfly shrimp, man.
That was.
Oh my goodness, Pop!
Oh, shit.
You can see right here's where it impacted.
God.
Just tore off my skin. And
is that like metal fragments in there?
no,
Or like why is it so white in the center?
This what right here?
Oh, that's a bunch of like.
This is where I got hit right there.
There's a couple of people. There's someone in chat right now that'll get this. Can you make that bigger?
Oh my goodness.
Damn. I was trying to really look at it, man. I couldn't see it.
Oh,
it looked like a robot, like the Terminator underneath there. Was that bone? Was that white bone?
I know, man. That shit looked like steel. That's why I said make it bigger.
All right, hold on.
There.
I was being serious.
That's where it is. You can see
that's just light transfer then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's light transfer.
This is light right here. This is
reflection or whatever. Yeah.
Does your tattoo say sweet and sour chicken?
Huh?
Does your tattoo say sweet and sour chicken?
No, it was the first freaking
it says boxcar.
Right. It might say fucking, I don't know. It might say fried right. I don't know.
I think it says cream of Sauvignon guy.
It might. But it's
Fat shots.
How many treatments did you have before that photo?
Wasn't you in the Navy? It probably just says seaman.
It might. Dude, I don't know what people tattooed on me. So
I shouldn't have drank that moonshine earlier.
He's like, fuck it, I'm drunk. Just put it in. I'll deal with it tomorrow.
What the fuck?
Oh my
tattoo.
Oh god.
Pop B, how many treatments did you receive before that photo?
None.
0?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's still in the plate, man. They didn't have to pull it out.
No, I didn't know if they like that was like a day or two later or.
No, that was on the way to freaking TQ, the area in Iraq.
Man. Ooh, baby.
Did that break any ribs or anything like that?
No, I didn't break anything. Yeah.
Cyborg motherfucker.
That's
crazy. Badass, bro.
So you got one of them scenarios, bro?
All right. You want it to be early on? I'll make you have to make decisions.
Yeah. Early in shift.
Early in shift. Like
how early? 3
let's just
4
say,
months.
let's say this cyber stuff continued on to other facets of our infrastructure and things, it's not a localized thing. When things are localized, people don't go as crazy. We've lost power in freaking Springfield for like a month, and it didn't. There was the ice storm in freaking '07. So it's not like it's a big deal when it's localized, but if it's nationwide, if you think it's further than that, it can make people act a little bit differently, I would assume. So let's say it's early on, maybe like 4 or 5 days in, There's been some little chaos. People have lost their 3 days in their fridge. They're starting to get a little antsy. There's not help. They don't have anything that can tell them what's going on. And you're out and you're trying to get some maybe like last minute preps or something. You're going around. Maybe you're going to go get a loved one, or you're going to like bring people to your place. Whatever it is, you're out and about. Okay. So where is it? Hold on. Let me pull it up. All right. You're going to come across a guy in a parking lot, and it's going to be, let's say, it's going to be a big black dude, right? And he's beating the shit out of this smaller white guy, right? I mean, just beating the like blacked out, like red in his eyes, just beating the shit out of him, right? And you're walking by. How do you approach it? And then I'm going to give you more information.
I'm on foot.
Yeah, you're on foot because you're in a parking lot.
And we're say 4 to 5 days in.
Oh, 4 to 5 days in.
It's starting to kind of ramp up.
Yep. So let's say you look at it and you see it.
So is your mission while you're on foot is to go get some more preps, some more groceries, or try to get what
It could be going to pick up a family member and bring them to your place, and you just happen to come across that area. Some people live in the city.
Or am I on the way back from the mission, or am I heading towards what I got to do?
Let's say you're heading towards it. You're about to go in this store and try to get some last minute things. You've got emergency cash because you're not an idiot, and you don't have to use a card, so you're going back in there to grab some stuff.
I'm gonna avoid that one like the plague.
Okay, so you're avoiding. So, anybody going to go up towards it?
I'm going to see what kind of group's around him first. Does he have a group behind him cheering him on? Does the white guy have a group behind him cheering him on?
No, there's no gathering. This dude's beating the shit out of this other dude. You got a cart with some groceries in it that's been like kind of messed up. Let's say it's knocked over, right? Because they've been fighting around it. And let's just say you start walking over there. At first glance, who do you think is the perpetrator, right? Just think about it. Don't answer, right? Who do you think is probably the problem? You're going over there. You're probably getting in your mindset how you're going to deal with something like this, right?
Realistically, I'm going to think that the small white dude probably said something sideways out of his fucking mouth and deserved to be smacked.
Okay.
And I'm going to just keep it pushing. I'm like, oh.
I'm probably going to go from a distance that I know I could make a very fast shot, and I'm going to say, what did he do? I'm going to yell that out.
Okay. No one answers you, right? No one's going to answer you. Probably pulling out a firearm, too. I'd be careful because there's still law enforcement that think they could bring things back. So if you start pulling out guns in parking lots and stuff, might be a bad thing. And I understand, avoiding and stuff like that. But let's say you get a little bit closer. You cut around the side and you pie it off a little bit, to get a better picture. And then you see a kid laying on the ground in front of the vehicle, right? It's a little black boy.
I'm going to scream, fuck him up! And I'm going to keep walking.
Well, I mean, really and truly, if you just really want to get serious about it, you just walk by and shoot both of them, and that way for sure you get the right problem solved.
Mm-hmm.
Then you leave the kid in distress and nobody to give a fuck about it. Now the father's shot trying to figure out how to save his kid.
So out of everything,
we're only 5 days in.
So out of everything we're trying to put together with this, so many different things could be the thing, right? It could be either of those guys' kid. Any one of them could have been the person that hit the kid, right? We're assuming, because black kid, black guy, that it's his. Maybe it is. You probably have a better chance that it's his, you know what I mean? But you don't really know. The guy's, you don't know if the kid's alive. You don't know, because no one, the father, let's assume, is the one winning. He's just beating the shit out of the guy. So if you were to go over there and shoot maybe the wrong person, because at first perspective, when you're looking at something, you're trying to take in all the information, you just see a guy beating the shit out of somebody. And if you want to help, for people that would actually go by and want to help,
See,
you might react wrong until you get a full picture, until you go and intervene. So
I know. See, it seems like to me we're focusing a whole lot on these two guys fighting when we need to be focusing on our mission, because we are in a situation that warrants me to go pick up a family member or some supplies that I'm feeling I need to get this done now. And so it seems to me we're focusing too much on the two people fighting. I don't give a fuck about them. If I'm going to extract someone, and bring them back, I'm
for sure.
That's my mission.
Yep.
I've got to stick to that mission.
If I say anything, it will be so I can make sure I keep going and not get involved.
But what if you say something, you're like, hey, what'd he do, or what's up, and the dude just turns around and fucking pow, just fucking shoots.
What if he does that anyway, just because you're walking and he's seen you walking and now you're a witness?
He's focused beating the shit out of this person, man.
If you're so focused on the mission,
backwoods creeping by his ass like this,
you're going to miss so much, because that could, like Pop Beans always said, people are a prep. If you're already a couple days in and you know it's shitty, that could be a potential ally, the guy whooping the ass or the guy getting his ass whooped. You never know. You've got to assess every situation, especially when you're deep into it, a couple days into it. You know what I mean? You can't just go around willy-nilly shooting everybody. At least that's not how I see it.
You know what
if you show me a threat or the disrespect, I'm going to keep it pushing. You know
what the really fucked up thing about it is they could be fucking best friends and like brothers, and they just fucking throw down. I don't know. I mean, it just seems to me that it's not about focusing so much on the mission that you miss shit. I mean, you always have situational awareness and you always try to find out, but that this is something going on that could really post up your time, man. And if you feel that you need to go and get shit now, you need to go get this person now, then it seems to me that you've already figured out that there's more to this shit than just a cyber attack and it'll be back up tomorrow, because we're already 5 days into this shit. And like Pop B said, you also have people running out of food. A lot of people only have 3 or 4 days of food, and that's it. And they're starting to run out, and then they're trying to go to the store. Maybe there's no goods there at that particular store, and they're fighting over a little shopping cart of goods. And you've got your shopping cart, and now you see what I'm saying? It's like, fuck, you got to get out of there. That's my personal opinion. You take care of your mission first, and then if you've got time, you come back and try to find.
In all reality, I would keep going and actually try to create more distance from wherever I was from that situation. In all reality,
I mean, it all comes down to situational awareness. Know the situation that you're going into first.
If I don't know either of them, and from a distance, all I see is a kid, and it looks like it's the guy beating his ass's kid, to me, that's enough. I'm not a detective, and I'm not trying to solve everybody's problems. That's one less person in the shift that we got to worry about coming to the spot.
Well, and
for the potential.
I'm all for numbers.
If you can take care of them.
But I prep a little different.
Good.
I've got enough for myself, my extended family, for extra people, and then those extra people will have to put in work. And then I am all for an idea of calling the herd. So there's going to be a period where evil can be stricken from the land. Who's going to be having a whole bunch of stuff? Evil people. They're just like everybody else in a way, in a fashion that they're going to have stuff. So I'm all for easily finding some extra preps. That's why I don't mind the city too much, or I don't mind it's not a huge city here, but I don't mind that area too much, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that'll show their face and I'll be able to acquire.
It says the man that
might die the first day doing that. I don't know, but hey.
Pot B lives around 10,000 soft targets. He's not worried about a damn thing.
Right.
There's a lot of soft people here. a lot of inventory.
I mean, most likely, I'm doing this mission with some type of thing beyond a pistol. If I'm going for this walk 5 days into shift, I got something a little bigger than a fucking handgun with me.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If you're 5 days in,
yeah. If I want to, I go over there and control the whole damn situation. However, you'd have to get like some type of instinctual feeling on whether or not you feel you need to, or whether or not, depending on what's going on around your shit already, those 5 days in, whether or not you've already brought people in and you're at your capacity, or you don't really want to bring more in. I'm more for different shit. Like, I don't want a bunch of random fucking people around. I don't even want them around me now, let alone in shift, to tell you the truth.
But if you came across that and you had, I assume that far in, you would have some kind of EDC with you, or some kind of, recon bag or something. You would try to give aid to the child. Your mission wouldn't be, okay, I'm out here. Fuck it. This kid's bleeding and shit. I got a fucking med kit. Let me see what I can do.
If the kid was bleeding and suffering too, then yeah, probably.
And see, I don't know. I'm real fucking suspicious, man. I really am, man. I'm really suspicious.
I'm telling you, most likely in my heart, I'm going to create distance and keep moving.
See, Pop B likes to bring in kids to this a lot, because you remember the scenario that you gave me that time, Pop B, about the woman coming up. We were like 6 months into it, and the woman
with
the door with the kid with the broken arm.
Yeah,
and. I'm real suspicious, man, because how do I know that kid, you know what I'm saying? It may have been a setup from the beginning for them to draw people in. These two people may be just fucking crazy and don't mind beating the shit out of each other, and they got this kid over there that, they've done made this fucking kid insane too. It happens, man. I mean, they brainwash these children, man. And so, I mean, I'm just thinking, man, I'm real suspicious like that, man. And I've got something at hand that I've got to get done, because I'm going to extract someone and bring them, to my place, or I'm going to get specific supplies. You know what I'm saying? So it really, man, I'm just suspicious of people, man. I really am.
I am too, bro. I have enough people that I know that I might need to help. I don't need to bring in nobody else. Fuck all that.
I would assume that this guy that's beating the shit out of him is not armed, because he hasn't just shot him out of a fit of rage. So it might not be his kid, or if he's just beating the shit out of him for his stuff, could be it. But I mean, I'd be considering that. I might intervene. I might try to go up there, with the distance. I'm not trying to do anything. I've got a loud voice, so I can just sit there and speak to them. I can get their attention somehow. And I would try to figure out if one's worth saving, or one's worth eliminating, to just get the guy to stop what he's doing and like, hey, grab your kid, let's go. And I'd probably try to take him with me. And if it doesn't work out, I mean, if the world's ending, there's going to be a lot of recruiting and dispersing of people. So numbers are a huge thing to me. I'd rather go home with an extra body that can be another gun at night or during the day, and not necessarily that I would just trust the person automatically because I picked up a rando. But there's things to do.
But Tech Money, what's up? But how do you know? I mean, like, real talk, how do you know it ain't a setup from the beginning, bro?
I'll say it this way: there's going to have to be a risk and reward. You're going to have to evaluate. Well, you're going to have to risk and reward. So you have cautious and you have paranoid. And if I'm paranoid about everything, I'm going to lose eventually, because I'm going to be by myself and with my kids and my wife, and we're all going to die. There's no way I'm going to make it by myself. We don't live on enough land. We don't live far enough away from anything.
But see, I'm not saying turn everybody away. That's not what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying, though. So everyone early on, think about early on. How many people are just going to, and besides crazy fucking people that are going to openly do it anyways, how many people are just going to run around shooting everybody and trying to be deceitful the entire time? It's not all salesmen. You know what I mean? You're going to have some people that want a sense of normalcy, and they don't want violence. A lot of people want it.
Brother, you got to understand, man, I can still drive down to the store and buy a gallon of milk down here at the fucking convenience store. And you got people right now, man, that'll set you up and scheme you out. You don't think these people ain't ready for this shit, man? They've been making plans for a lot. People, dude, I'm
Bro,
telling you,
if I don't know them, I'm staying the fuck away.
Yeah.
I could find people.
I'm on a mission.
There are
Yeah.
still good people though. That's
cool.
That's why
Y'all be good. That's what I say. Y'all be good.
Hey,
Y'all be good.
a malicious person would probably be preparing for something like this. Me, 12 years ago, was preparing like that kind of stuff where I'm like, I'll just fucking take what I need, right? There's people that'll do that, but it's not going to be out of 330, 50 million people, it's not going to be every fifth person, every fourth person you see. You're going to find more, I think more people that you find are going to be like, yo, you've got food. What do you need me to do? Or something. There's going to be enough people that would chip in to survive.
I think it's too soon. 5 days in. 5 days in, bro. It could be coming back. 5 days in is too soon to intervene in that situation. Y'all be good, y'all.
That's
okay.
That's good. That's a great point.
If we knew that the population was so low already and there was hardly people around and we've seen dead bodies for 3 months and then we had to go out on something and we saw this, that would be different. We may need that body by then.
Yes, that would be a different story. But you know, 5 days in,
if there's the potential of it coming back, then why would you not take the risk to take the child to a doctor or a hospital of some sort?
What you gonna do? Hold them in your house until the doctor opens back up?
Well, the doctor would be open if it's about.
You're saying if there's a potential of it coming back, we're only 5 days in. There's still going to be hospital tents set up. There's going to be fucking UN type motherfuckers.
5 days in, cops might still be out there.
That's what I'm saying. So it might be chaos, but there's still a part of humanity that's there because there's hope that it's going to come back any minute now. So why would you just leave a child laying on the fucking road?
Because he looks like his daddy's whooping somebody's ass.
Say, hey, your kid's hurt and bleeding. He's knocked the fuck out. Let's do what we got to do. You got your point across.
Snap him out of it and get him to his kid.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, that's it. And
like I said, if I say something, if I see the kid is injured or something, I'm going with Pop B's approach. I'm gonna go from far distance away enough that I can make what I got to do done. I might even do it from behind some type of cover, like leading up to a piece of cover or something, and have a quick conversation. But I'm definitely not taking them back to my house 5 days in. Fuck no.
No, I ain't taking nobody back to my house.
Period. Fucking period, bro.
I would say this: if it's 5 days in and you think that it might come back, then if you don't have any kind of humanity that you're going to help or try to de-escalate or do something about a situation, then to me it's almost nothing different than somebody that videotapes a crime happening and then posting it on YouTube and not doing anything about it. You know what I mean? Like there's gonna be the different kinds of people. Someone that's going to intervene and do something about it, or someone that's going to watch something or avoid it. And it's not. I mean, I understand the differences in it. I understand why you might take one or the other route, but I would have to, even if I was just being a little pussy and I was like, hey, you good? And then he told me to fuck off and I left. I mean, maybe that's what happens. Maybe that's the reaction I have. I don't fucking know because I'm not in the situation. But I would feel like I would have regret. I would have a lot of regret if I didn't do something about it. And now I have to live with every decision I've made. Well, and all of a sudden in 10 days, the fucking.
I mean, I can't lie, bro. Seeing a kid in distress, I would definitely say something. I would just, like I said, do it from a safe distance.
I'm just saying, if the power came back on in 10 days, then you have to live with everything you did. And now you're evaluating in a normal, civilized, life, how you reacted to everything. You know what I mean? And maybe it's a freaking learning point, but I don't know. I would have to, even if nothing came of it, I'd have to do something. It's like stopping to get somebody off the side of the road. That's dangerous because there's a whole bunch of creepy ass fucking people out there that do it, waiting for women or something. But I stop and I help everybody I can that's stuck on the road because it sucks.
Well, I mean, just the whole 5 days in thing, man. I mean, people are going to start getting antsy, but you got to understand, man. I mean, it could have been that some motherfuckers were fighting over some groceries or fighting over something, and they fell into the kid, and knocked the kid down, and he, cracked his eye open or something. You know what I'm saying? And nobody actually even hit the kid. I mean, it's just so hard to know, man. Yeah, I would protect the kid with my life, man. But if they're not like, you know, I don't know, man. It just seems like, and 5 days in, the police are still going to be around. There's still going to be a lot of shit going on that is normalized.
Generators are still up and running. Some
Generators are going to be up and running. I mean, 2 guys fighting over there with a kid. I mean, man,
Police ain't gonna do shit though. Police aren't gonna be around like that. Think about it this way. Think about it this way. You have the riots.
So what governor you got?
The Summer of Love happened, right? The Summer of Love happened, and you have all these people that are freaking. The cops could only do so much, and they had people come in and all that kind of stuff. But when there's so many people, they're outnumbered. You know what I mean? They're protecting things that they consider important. They're protecting or stopping maybe avenues of approach and things like that. They're doing things, but to stop little conflicts, they're almost waiting to clean up and investigate afterwards rather than freaking be safety and security for anybody. So if you're armed and you go see what's going on and kind of evaluate the situation, you'll have a better understanding. Is that even your kid? You know what I mean? Kind of thing. And you've got something you can protect yourself with.
Virginia makes a really good point, man. How many of y'all like seriously have heard neighbors fucking throwing down and they got kids in the house? I have went and intervened at my neighbor's house one time. Dude over there, they just the daughter and her, I'm sorry, the son and his wife had a baby, and the mother, that the boyfriend was living there, and they had her daughter and son living there, and the daughter-in-law and son just had a baby, right? And this baby wasn't like a month old or 2 months old, and they were over there fighting, man, and fucking slamming doors and shit. It was like 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
And I did go over there and intervene, but I knew the guy, and I was like, yo, dude, man, you got a baby in the house, bro. I mean, get off your bullshit. You got a baby in the fucking house, man. Keep it quiet, Go down the fucking road, and man, there's a creek right down here. Y'all can go down there and argue all you fucking want to. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody.
For anybody in chat, that nothing's the right answer for any of this. All this is just taking an uncertain scenario and discussing what could be and what might be and how you might react and things like that. There is no right answer. There's not a single right answer to this, because just shooting them is what a lot of people say. It's not necessarily a right answer, but maybe they're both. You know what I mean? It could have been.
I'm keeping it moving 5 days in.
Yep. How long would it take you? How long would it take you to shift from like I'm just staying out of this shit to it might come back?
Well, I don't think, if let's say this is a month, I'm not doing this operation solo anyway. If we were in a group, then yeah, we're rolling over there and stopping everything from happening, questioning everybody, finding out what's going on, and we'll let y'all go if y'all just are cool to chill. Let this dude go. Let him go. Whose kid is this? Take care of the kid. You roll up 4 deep, 5 deep. It's a whole different story. You go roll up and figure that out.
A couple months in, when everything's been stripped out of stores and you got 2 guys fighting over a car, that might be a setup.
Exactly.
Now it's even more dangerous to go.
It might be a loot drop for some extra Neosporin and alcohol,
or that.
It depends too, because you that far in, there's not going to be any refrigeration, so anything that's going to be trying to fucking scavenge is going to be.
Oh, it's okay. It's December.
The stores actually had a secret root cellar that they've been selling underground out of for a month.
Well, I think that it's going to be really hard to distinguish, man, in a shit hits the fan situation, especially 3, 4, 5 months in, 6 months into it. I know people are an asset, but at the same time, people are detrimental, man. And I mean, we even see it today. Just a bunch of these Democrats who've been registering as Republicans just to fuck the shit up. You know what I mean? And again, you have to take into consideration right now, we can still drive to the convenience store and buy milk, man. And when you can do that, it's harder to think about these things in a reality type based situation, and exactly what would you do. And but
well,
you got,
if you're familiar with the neighborhood and the area and the demographic, that plays a big part of it too. Like if you're just some person that's, I'm 300 miles from home and let me just stop at this random place and see what they got, then it's everybody's suspect. But if it's like your local shit, you've got a sense of how many pieces of shit are in your general area by going to the gas station and the grocery store. But you also get a sense of how many good people there are, so you can kind of distinguish faces and put familiarity and attitudes and shit in a civilized world, and kind of draw your assessment from that.
Yeah,
it really and truly, man. You got, I mean, man, people are scheming.
See that comment, brother?
You guys can do it. It's fun.
I mean, you shoot me a PDF, I'll run them, but I'd prefer
the notes are very, very confusing on all these. So it's not like a full written up. It's like 3 bullet points on what my idea was, and I just kind of, so it's not like
run with it. Yeah. All right, let's do another one.
Another one. How far in? Do you want it to be deep into?
No. Whoa. Remember the
real. Can we go to the point where everybody's got at least one body by now?
Yeah, we dude, just
the tip.
A real war game. We don't get to pick. Hell, I mean, I could just pick the perfect scenario of how I want to answer something. You surprise us.
Surprise us, brother.
You know what? We're gonna do Hutch's, because it was one that after I started thinking about it was one of my favorite ones. Right? It's a very simple one. So let's just say, I'm assuming most people. I mean, some people live in city or some kind of suburban type areas. A lot of people have land. I know farms and things like that. So let's just say, no matter where you live, you've gone into town. You had to go in somewhere because you needed freaking X, Y, and Z supplies, right? You don't have everything. Maybe there's a pharmacy and you wanted to go get some meds that hopefully are still there, right? Anyways, so you take a team of you and 3 other people. You got a fire team with you. You got 4 guys, 4 girls, or whatever. And you're all going to go in there and you're going through streets and you're trying to cut your way and try not to be noticed as much. So maybe you hit alleys and stuff because it's less exposure. And then you find yourself in like a kill box, an L-shaped ambush, right? You've got them shooting from the side of one building and in front of you, right? You've got enough room. You've got trash cans and things around. You've got some stuff around. But with what you guys have, and this is the kicker, with what you guys have trained with your guys before, I'm assuming if you've really taken this serious and this whole shift thing, you've got some guys that you've trained with. You've done medical. You've done some type of tactics and things like that. So with what you guys plan on carrying, all the gear you plan on carrying, whether it be, I don't want to throw out any ideas, but anything that you'd be carrying on your personal body in a pack or on yourself. Mm-hmm. And your team, people split up items and things like that. But you guys are going through, you've got dispersion, and you get hit. It's a kill box. So you're going to be probably taken care of. Did
somebody in our team get hit already?
No one's got hit. It's just popped off. But the idea is that it's an immediate thing. So that first like half-second reaction where it's everything just starts popping, right? And you got your team. Wherever you lead them from, what do you do?
That was my first thought, Saints and Sappers. I'm popping smoke somewhere. Wherever the biggest thing that I heard is, we're trying to get we're either far enough in the mission that we need to keep going, or we're close enough that we need to head back. And whichever direction that is, whoever's leading, we pop that smoke and head the opposite direction of the smoke and shoot our way out of it. Would be my first instinct. And then if you have something else that doesn't smoke, but it also goes bang, I'd be throwing those into where you thought stuff was, and I'd be throwing it as we're heading in that direction. You got to know how much time it takes for it to go off and all that. But distraction devices, smoke, and shooting your way out of that shit, keeping everybody close enough that you're not losing anybody in this movement. Because if you have to go back because someone's down, that's fucked.
Yeah,
That's my instinct.
I like the answer is explosives. If I'm looking at getting,
I know a guy who knows a guy who blows a guy up.
Whoa! I'm glad you finished.
You like that last part,
I
right?
would have on me, I would have a backpack, and I would have a long gun, and I would either have a sidearm or a shotgun with me, and I would have my my son and a couple of his little army buddies. And the first thing that I would do is always check for entrances and things like that. So as soon as the first shot went off, we're finding cover and we're trying to get inside of one of those buildings. There's no point in staying out there on the street and shooting back. I don't have explosives and smoke. I'm breaking a window or I'm kicking a door in, and we're all getting inside, and we'll figure it out from there.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously you got to take cover, and you got to try to assess the situation of what's going on, of how many people are shooting at you, or how much stuff is going on. You know what I mean? It to me, that just kind of seems like a call on the field of, you know, how many, you know, what's the force level, you know, that's
also what's the size of this kill box. If it's a little bit wider kill box, if it's very narrow, will play a part into what your idea may be. Because if you know that they're spread out, right, and you are able to get around some of them, then you may be able to flank this whole group and take them all out and come up on a bunch of supplies. But if everybody's like right there,
it's an L-shaped.
Yeah, it's an L-shaped
deal that you're in.
Okay.
So you've got guys in the building, and you got guys in the front of the building, right? And that's when you get hit. It's the size of what you can drive traffic through. So you got garbage trucks that might go through there, things like that. So it's a big enough alley. I think the first thing I would do, besides immediately returning fire, immediately to the front, not to the side, just because if I was getting hit from a side, and we're all yelling at each other where contact coming from and all that kind of stuff, we can grab guys while one's engaging. If he's not listening, I can grab him, push him to the wall. We can get up against it, because if you're taking 360-3D for this whole entire environment that you're fighting in, if they're shooting through windows or on rooftops or whatever it is on one side, you could push to the wall and cut off their field of view. And then you can deal with one threat. If you can get in the window and door, that's what I was going to say earlier on too, is because that's fantastic. You can get cover. You're fighting a whole other unknown, which could be super freaking dangerous. But like you're saying, if you don't have smoke and you're dealing with what you got, because that's what you're doing no matter what, then that unknown is
you don't really want to backtrace. Like, if in my mind, if you go backwards, if it was me setting the ambush, I would wait till they're far enough past so that if they tried to go back, I would have nothing but a clear shooting lane for anybody who tried to retreat backwards.
Yeah.
Very smart.
If it was me. So that's what I would think. Oh, shit, we can't run because we got 50 yards of open space. We're going to get picked off like a motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was, you know, I mean, it would have to be an assessment. That's what I was getting at about the size of the force, you know, all your surroundings, everything going on around you, because exactly just that, you know, you may have a lot of cover where you're at, but if you move outside of that, you may be, you know, in an opening for a time.
Because what if it's this L shape? Because a lot of times in these L shapes, there may be like one door there that's like a steel door. You know, if you guys know that, like downtown areas, some of their back doors to these things are like solid steel doors that open outwards. You're not kicking that motherfucker in.
Right.
You know what I mean? And usually there's not low windows in the cities I've been in where there's windows like height enough to get into those bitches at a ground level from. Yeah. So my initial thought would be, all right, there is nowhere to get into a door, into something, I think that would obviously be the first choice, because then you can run through this building and try to get out of it with your team all together, covering angles, and you have more advantage that way. But you got to get out off the X as well. So
yeah,
you either got to go through this thing, like you said, get on the walls so that you're not getting shot from two directions. If there's someone coming from behind you and now you got shots from the front and the back and the roofs, you're pretty fucked, man. You just walked into a fucked situation. You should have had a scouting shit out before you shouldn't be walking all in a group into this fucking X to begin with. But
that's why everybody should carry a breaching shotgun everywhere they go.
I think you should definitely have someone with a shotgun.
Get a
100%. Breaching shotgun, yes sir. Breaching barrel, boy. And some yeah. I'll leave that one alone.
Yeah, you could breach that bitch if you had a breaching shotgun for sure. But
get a freaking
one with a pistol grip.
Get a breach and borrow.
There's a lot of doors though when downtown. It's not just locked. There's fucking bars and shit with locks on them on the other side and all kinds of shit. But I mean, yeah, you could have probably get through it if you try hard enough. However, you are standing there in the kill box while you're doing that.
For people that are saying drones and stuff, that'd be fantastic. If you've got drones, even if it's grid down, if you can power your own stuff and your stuff isn't fried and it's working, then it'd be fantastic to send one in there and look at it and do a little bit of, freaking site recon. But
I mean, you wouldn't do that in every situation though, because at a certain point, if you're in this,
you're giving away your position.
You have to give up so much resource to charge that battery, to charge that video screen that you're looking at. All this time and energy into this one use. You know what I mean? So when do you use it? When do you not use it? There's a lot of what if.
Bro, that motherfucking drone could be exactly why you just got put in the kill box, because they know that you're within a distance and there's certain people there and they're setting up position. Like, I hope this stupid fucker with the drone comes walking through here. We can get ourselves a drone.
I would use it every chance I had, but I wouldn't just sit there and just grab a black drone and use it, or a solid white drone. I would paint the bottom of that thing fucking light blue. I would make it almost where I can't find it in the sky. I would take out the LEDs so I can't see flashing lights and things like that. I would black it out, and then I would use it every fucking time I could. I would always do that. You could see rooftops. You could see it.
Literally build a ghillie suit for your drone. So if it's a stormy day, you can have the gray to match the clouds. If it's a bright sunny day, you can have.
You could have
weather drone.
It's different freaking shades. I mean, how hard is it to see a freaking plane flying through the air when it's really high? You lose it all the time, right?
My first thought is, why the fuck did our whole group just walk into this fucking corner of this ankle?
You're cutting around and you're trying to make it to the pharmacy was the idea, or a store, whatever it was.
For sure.
You were trying to have less exposure than being on a freaking 4-lane, 2.5, with the turning lane, 3-lane.
I think if you're in the city, you need to move how our military has moved in cities for a long time. If this is shift, fuck all the walking around. You're going to have to stagger this group and have this guy move, that guy move, this guy move, that guy move on walls.
I mean, it sounds good in theory, but most people are going to have small groups of less than 10. A lot of elderly and a lot of out of shape people who can't actually take that trip.
Yeah, you ain't taking them with you on that fucking trip. That's for sure.
So
I mean, if your group is only 4 or 5 dudes,
like say your mom or your dad, still young-ish, 50, 60, somewhere in that range, 70, but still, alive, but they need that insulin. You know what I mean? You ain't got no choice but to go find it. Either sit here and watch your people die, or you know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do.
Boy, if that is what you're burdened to, is fucking searching the city for insulin that might not even be there.
It's going to be the reality for a lot of people, though. If this was a real world, that's the reality for the majority of Americans.
Yeah, there's going to be a whole bunch of life-saving drugs that people are going to be fighting for. I mean, think about it. If you had a daughter or a son and they needed something, insulin, I would do a lot of things to make sure that my child lived, because even if the power came back on a month later, 2 months later, and I had to live with terrible things I did to make sure my kid survived, I mean, that's risk reward.
Here's just a little advice. One of your best bets would be to go somewhere like a nursing home or something where they probably have that shit stockpiled and not run through the city. If you have to go through the city, there's got to be a hospital or something that's not in the dead center of the city that you could go to.
You don't
However,
My first instinct was to be notice the yards. Old people. Whoever got the fancy yards with the 10,000 flower pots.
yes. You could tell if an old person lives.
That geriatric has a house full of meds.
Yeah.
And that would be the best place to look. Real shit. How many people do you know,
Real shit.
40 and over, who don't have a goddamn shoebox full of medicine at any given
By the
time?
way, disclaimer, this is all fake scenarios about post-apocalyptic fiction. We are just entertaining, thought-provoking, philosophical entertainment.
This is happening.
How many other words can you guys?
We're telling our real opinions. Don't.
Epstein didn't kill himself. COVID was a lie. Global warming is bullshit.
I love doing disclaimers when I have y'all on stream. It ends up being the best.
Hey, no matter what, urban environments are extremely dangerous. Going into a building is extremely dangerous, and if you get stuck in a situation, because eventually you might have to move somewhere, it could happen. Smoke's great. If you have it, everything takes time. Try to work with the environment so you can cut off people's fields of view. And lead.
Hopefully, you know some people that know how to make shit like that.
Lead before med. Lead before med the entire time. And the whole idea of that is, let's say you four are walking down and one guy gets hit. Don't try to help that dude at all. Don't just leave that motherfucker on the ground and take care of what it is. Just throw down fire. I would throw down as much as you could. Cover his ass. Then you can probably bust out into a door or a window and get into cover, but you're going to be fighting another unknown. So everything's going to be dangerous, and no matter what, you're going to have to fight your way through and back.
Well,
this is the kind of shit that people need to know about diabetes and stuff. I'm not going to read it because that's the type of shit they hate, but y'all can read that.
But how many people realistically in this country know that? You know what I mean?
Well, if you got that condition, this is one of the things, bro. It's going to come down to this, in my opinion, on a lot of situations. And this is what I've come to the conclusion of, is you cannot be everybody's Superman. You can't extend yourself out for every fucking situation. And death is a part of life. You cannot try to save, for the sake of losing half your group, you can't save one person for the sake of losing half your group. It's just not a plausible thing, in my opinion. Now, if I had a strong enough group that we felt that this could be accomplished, cool. If the group is small and not as strong and you're going into a hella dangerous situation, not cool.
Bring up what Rabbit said, because I got a point to make about that.
The less than a year, so did I.
Yeah, you probably didn't prep correctly. And see, the problem is, Rabbit, is that we actually did prep correctly. But, Pot B, if you listen to him, he wants to pick up every fucking stray out there because everybody's an asset is what he thinks. And so now we picked up 7 different people that need insulin. And, and now we've used all of our
and
insulin.
He loves picking up obese people with diabetes.
Yeah,
and need all the fucking meds.
Now, hold on. There's a criteria. I'm not going to pick up somebody that's like crawling on the ground and says, I've got 17 medications I need. I'm sorry. There is.
Okay, so somebody hurting, you're going to tell them to fuck off?
Over my family.
How could you live with that conscience?
That's easy.
Just kidding.
There's got to be a balance to it. If it was a child that had a broken leg, I'd probably take him in. Would he die? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not a doctor. You know what I mean? He'll probably get an infection and die eventually. But if I want to take in every able-bodied person that looks like they can actually handle themselves to an extent, or they have a skill or something that can actually be beneficial. Because if all of a sudden, a year into it, I've got 70 freaking dudes in 3 different posts because we have this kind of like Overwatch and we have this way to protect ourselves, so when one gets hit, 2 can react and all this kind of stuff. When we're broken up and
Pop B's going for warlord status, y'all.
Oh fuck, dude! I'm just saying, if I can turn into the king of the area, I'm not saying I'd stay there and want to be a king, but I'm saying someone's taking control of that spot. And if it's not going to be someone that has at least good morals, it's going to be the dirtbag that's just killing everybody. At least if I grab people, I expand, and I gain a foothold early on, I can control an area. And what I take from people I think is evil, that's what Rabbit said earlier. How do you know what's evil? It's all perspective. And I can live with that, because if I think they're evil and I kill them, in this joking scenario, If I think they're evil and I took them out, then I'm calling the herd, and I can justify that in my mind and feel good about it.
Well, Saint says lifeboat has a capacity or it sinks, and I agree with that. You know, and that's I mean, man, see, that's the hard problem is how, you know, in a 6 months in shit scenario, you know, how do you really judge who's good or not? You know, I mean, do you have the resources to even take in anybody? You know what I mean? It's because you can't know by that point. You know,
ideally, y'all, is we vet everything beforehand, and you set up a solid group with plans and all that beforehand. But it's harder than people.
See, that's kind of why we've been pushing this, the meetups and the community ideas. Set up the connections now. That way, you know. Because, I mean, you've got people like Surviving with Terry in chat who thinks it's cool to dox people. You know what I mean? You don't want people like that in the group. You know what I mean? So it's get to actually know these people and know that they're pieces of shit before you have to rely on them. Just saying.
Nah, that's not cool.
I can't disagree with that. That's kind of the whole point. We've been around for a while and seen a lot of people come and go, man. We've found out people were pedophiles and shit who were real, you know, big channels and shit, and people who were hanging around for a long time, man, and so yeah, that's why you need to get to seeing
the shit out of people,
seeing people now, you know, and just think about. Just think about the
frame of deep throats watermelons, motherfucker.
You know, it does bring up a funny point. Think about when they talk about
hashtag I'll stand with Hutch.
Oh fuck yeah, I'm always with Hutch. When they talk about the like 90% would die if the grid went down in the first year. I think a huge part of that, besides people on medical and all that kind of stuff, would be those that don't like getting cut off on the road anymore. You know what I mean? Right. Those that don't have a means to back up loud talk and things like that. Those people that can be, you know, corrected violently. I think a lot of people will die that way. That and just being stupid because they think they're protected by a hospital that's not there anymore, and they take risks that they can't justify, and they hurt themselves. But
that's why you got to figure if you're picking up people in this type of situation, you're going to have to do some traveling with them. You can assess a lot about a person. You know, if you have to spend a couple hours trekking somewhere with somebody, you're going to learn a lot about their character and all this other shit. You know what I mean? Yep. So you can kind of feel them out before you actually bring them to where you need to bring them. Or if you've got these connections in these supply lines, you can direct them to a group that you know that this person would be more well suited and fit into. You know what I mean? Whether it be religious beliefs, political beliefs, work ethic, whatever the situation may be. They got medical skills. Oh, this group needs a nurse type person, and we already got one. So why don't you? You know what I mean? You can kind of direct people as you travel with them.
That's the whole thing, man. You got to learn this shit now, man. It's already hard enough to trust people, man, and you already find people who fucking, you know, do this shit, do terrible shit now, man. And I keep saying that, but I want to express that we, as bad as it is right now, we can still go buy milk at the convenience store, dude. And when we have it that good, we really don't understand how deep this shit can get and how drastic people can get. Now, someone like, say, Pot B, you know, he's been on in other countries and shit where some of this goes on, and that's why it still puzzles me why he's so friendly with oh yeah, just people acid. I'm gonna bring that person. Oh yeah, I'm bringing that person in. Because
this is crazy.
I got to admit, I'm not just trying to mess with Pot B. I'm trying to be serious though, really. for me, that's probably honestly, that's a problem for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying me and you couldn't be in a group, because I would damn sure want you in my my group, or me be in your group. You know what I'm saying? But we would have to have some kind of backroom discussions, and be like, hey man, why, you see what I'm saying?
Everything would change though at that point, because like right now there's a lot of people that would they're literally just looking at me to literally make every decision. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's almost like a dictatorship in a way. Like early on in The Walking Dead, when he's like, "What I say goes," right? We're gonna do everything my way. A lot of it would be that way. Everyone would just be like, "What do I do?" And I would have to delegate and dictate and figure out who's coming in. But if there was somebody else that had the same type of mindset like you, that was like, hey man, that guy's sketch, don't even, or I know that guy or whatever, then there's going to be other things that come into it. So it's kind of a fill and flow. All of a sudden now I'm not just taking the risk of my own. I'm sharing the risk with somebody else.
I don't
Poppy turned me on to the group of prepping people, or the idea of prepping people, because when I first came on, I was like, kill them all. If you come within 10 fucking feet of my gate, you're going to get shot at. But listening to Pop B's logic after a while, I have actually, because I've met people like Backwoods, Pop B, you know what I mean, the fellas, people that I actually fuck with, I have actually designed spots to where I could hold a certain amount of people. Nobody's business how many people, but you know what I mean, to where it's, I can keep a lot of my future success in that situation would be based on more hands, plain and simple.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, and that's, Pop B has opened my mind up to several things as well. I'm not saying I would be just totally like, nope, we can't bring nobody in, but
Right.
but I would be questioning a lot. I'm real suspicious like that,
There'd be a very, very heavy vetting process.
Yes, the vetting process would have to be real heavy, and I could understand what you're saying, Pop B, is once you're into that situation, things would kind of change, and we would, because you have the whole group.
I can't lie, dude. I think a group is stronger, and I kind of copied. There was a live, I think maybe one of your last lives you still have up, where it was just you and Hutch, Pop B. And you were talking about how to form a group, or how the group would form.
Oh, the four. What are the 4-part one? The stage shift.
Yes.
Or what we thought it would look like, I should say.
Yeah, and then like a group that forms like a year later, and how the structure of it would be, and all that stuff.
Yeah, everything changes.
Yeah, and I don't think a democracy is for sure not the way to go, but I think having a like godhead of the group, like the three who are the decision makers, is better than a one, because I think it gives you more credibility. And then we talked about like having a meeting, each person having meetings individually outside of the three meeting together, so you could say this dude's acting funny, or he's making friends with these people over here, and then being able to bring that together and confront someone.
Yeah.
But I think that like you could have three leaders that we talked about, and basically it simulates the three branches of government and all three of the dudes. You know what I mean?
Well, you got to have
a council, and every house gets a vote. Not every person, but every house gets one vote.
One vote.
And the house is not a physical house. The house is like the head of that family or the head of that group.
The man gets the vote. Plain and simple.
You have people that
no women votes.
Shit. What was the question?
Well, what if she's a widow?
I mean, if she's a widow, then she would have something, I'm assuming. If you want to go
Nah, I mean, like you guys addressed it good in that video. Is one vote per household. If she wears the pants and you're that guy, then I guess she's making the vote.
Well, the whole
where's the pants? There's some pretty pussy ass dudes around nowadays.
The whole good guys know how not to be. The one thing that I heard this little speech thing, or this little deal, this little saying.
I keep thinking Red Dead Redemption every time she puts that up.
It was one of them things where a good person, someone who has a good life and they're happy and They're, you know, and when it comes to them having to do bad things, it's not that they're not capable of the bad things. The thing you need to focus on is the fact that that person, that good person, understands that once you have to do them bad things, that you're giving up that good person lifestyle. You know, you're giving up a whole lot, because now, regardless of, you know, your family, the people around you are going to look at you differently. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have, you're going to be giving up a certain lifestyle that you have come to be happy with, to be comfortable with. And once you understand that you are giving all that up to do something that you have to do bad, that's when you get real dangerous. That's when people get real dangerous.
And that kind of goes into what I was saying of like, you can't be the EMS, the police, the fucking psychological counselor, the whole system. Bro, there's people in this society that have a whole system of a fucking medical team and can't get their life right now.
Yeah.
To bring in somebody like that into your group is like fucking drinking coolant or something for the group, you know?
You ever watch the show The Vikings?
Yes.
Best show in the history ever.
One of my favorite talking points, one of my favorite scenes where Ragnar and King Egbert are talking, as he looks at each other and he goes, "Are you a good man?" He goes, "Yeah, I think so." And they're like the kings, right? They're the freaking leaders. He's like, "Yeah, I think so." And he goes, "Are you good?" He goes, "Yeah, I think so." He goes, "Are you corrupt?" And he goes, "Oh yes, oh yes." I was like, how can you not be corrupt with power? I think there's a lot of people that get in politics. I think they're really good people at heart when they get there, and then they just fucking get corrupted because
that's why it's going to be tricky. If you try to fall into a place, if you try to find a community or a group afterwards, whoever owns the land is now your king, because you didn't have that shit established before you needed their land. You know what I mean? So if you come up to a farm or a ranch or anything out in the woods, a fucking stronghold in the city, you are a peasant saying yes, sir, until they decide otherwise. Plain and simple.
Yeah. You showing up to an area that probably already has a lot of good following for people that are around them. They've taken them in. They've established things. Yeah, I think a lot of things.
The question is how many people in today's society can accept that role as well? The way society's built today, like we go back 100, 500 years, I think there was a lot more people that had lived that mindset for a while. They understood that concept. How many people today like to take orders from other people, even if they're fucking doing dog shit with themselves?
COVID restrictions.
Well,
no matter what we've been living with kings our entire life. We might call it a president, but it is our king. And the king doesn't always make his own decisions. He sits there and he casts down things, and he's got people in his ear and stuff, and you can call him a leader.
I mean, realistically, in every community, you're going to have that group of crash dummies that you're like, okay, you're pawns, you're fucking retarded, you're wasting food and space. But if I need somebody to go do a dummy mission, you're the guy. You know what I mean? You have to have those people around.
They're not going to know it, but yeah, you got to have that.
That's
all
true.
Right, Pop B, hit us with another one, man. We've only got 2 in.
Oh, shit. Well, keep talking. Hold on, let me find one.
What Virginia said is true. Appreciate it, Scoot. The weak will seek a leader. The strong will exploit the weak. The cycle continues.
People naturally gravitate toward protection, and whoever will. People are happy being cheap.
Or the fucking con artist will seek out a leader because they want to sit there and skew the system in their favor without being present. People are freaking manipulated.
It's going to be harder for them to do that, though, when the leader can actually cap you in your face for finding shit out like that.
I don't think people will resort to just shooting somebody in the face. I think a lot of people are going to find it harder to shoot somebody than they think it is. Okay, let's do that. Let's play this game. We're deep into it. You get a confrontation. with your child and another child, right? Or no, hold on. Let's see how we do this.
Yeah, start all over, man. Go back to the beginning.
Go back to the beginning.
Yeah,
A long time ago, there were 2 seeds in these 2 nut sacks that plant. Oh, sorry. Too far? Too far?
You're too far.
Okay, my bad.
I'll lose my train of thought in between then and now.
I'm gonna have to write that one down later. Not the nutsack one. The the idea. I do like the idea of the cautious and the paranoid. So we've done this one before. Red Dawn, I don't think you've done it. Let me see if I can get it right here.
Whatever one you bring up, I guarantee I will not remember it because I didn't even remember that we did a live about the 4 parts of making a community after shift.
Well, good thing your mind stays the same, Hutch, because you said some of the same shit I heard on that live, and I love that about you.
You don't have to remember what we talked about 6 months ago. It's still there.
It's still there.
I mean,
It's in the subconscious.
Yeah,
when you say the same thing for 3 fucking years, you ain't got to worry about fucking.
right.
All right, there it is. So, where the hell to go? There we go. We're gonna say that it's deep in the shift, right? Everything's already taken down. You don't think it's coming back, right? And while you're on a patrol, so you got your little 4-man team. Let's just say it's a 4-man team. Oh, look, it's the half percenters because it's not 3 anymore, is it?
Now it's a quarter of a percent.
Where'd you get those at?
Online, man. I just ordered them on Amazon. I just looked up 3% hats.
Nice.
And so they had this, the multicam, and then the black. I got one of each.
Huh. Nice.
Anyway.
All right, you're on a patrol and you come across a person. Let's just say it's kind of stuff's overgrown, so it's more like wooded areas, even in somewhat spread out suburban areas. But you're coming across this person that's just kind of covered in blood and dirt. They just look like they've been through shit, right? And they're sitting on a curb. They're unarmed, and they seem to be ignoring you. They're just sitting there looking like a bloody, dirty, homeless person, right? Your patrol was heading away from camp. So how would you deal with that ordeal? The person right there, it's deep in the shift. You don't think it's coming back. They're bloody, dirty, and they're alone, not paying attention to you.
So
where are we when we find them?
Hold on. Are we are we by ourselves or with a team?
You're with a team, so you got 4 people. Including yourself, it's a 4-man fire team, right?
Okay, so why did? Well, my first question would be is why is there not an Overwatch and that you know about this person already, and you don't just happen upon him?
You're about a mile out.
Have you not got a scout?
Well, let's say the scout found him. He came back and told you he found him, and now you guys are coming up to him.
No scout found him. No scout found him.
All right.
You're a mile out. You've just been walking and you found this person. You can have it. I mean, okay, we're gonna go back to. We'll just do a side note here. You only have so many people in your group, unless you've gathered people like me. So you might not have Overwatches, inner security in your camp.
Well, if you got a 4-man team, one should be Overwatch.
But
I would never leave a person by themselves.
what if you don't have?
I wouldn't leave somebody by themselves either.
You don't send somebody out by themselves.
I mean,
I would assess the situation. You say we're in a wooded area. If we got a 4-man team, I'm taking 2 men are going to watch my back. The other guy's going to get behind him, and we're going to try to see what the deal is. We're going to question him if he feels like if it seems like he's in some kind of shock.
He's got information
where we just leave. But if he's got some kind of response, what happened to you? How many people did it? Where was it? Where did they come? Where did they go? You know what I mean? You got to find out everything you possibly can because they might be headed toward your group through the woods.
Yeah.
So
that was my thinking is who's the people that did this to you? and what was the reason, and then I think that's like a capture and question type of deal.
Okay, so you're gonna try to detain them. You're gonna get up close.
I would get up close on this one. If he looks like he has no weapon, he's not like the naked guy in A Knight's Tale, right? Like
Sorry,
he's not the naked dude in.
You don't have a third leg popping out right now.
Can I ask for some clarification?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not to pick on Red Dead Redemption up there, but you said capture and you know what I mean, detain.
Question.
In your mind, what does that entail? You know what I mean? Like how would you subdue them
I would start by trying to engage in a conversation with two people there. Like you said, I'd have two watching from a distance. I'd have two rolling up on him so he knows that we're way stronger than him. There ain't no reason for you to do shit. We'd start by trying to see if he's okay, trying to find out hey man, getting him to like talk to us, because obviously he's ignoring the crap out of us right now. Kind of assess whether or not he's strung out on some kind of drugs and whatnot, because if he is, then that's probably not going to be good for him. And then I would want to actually get this man to talk, right? So we would try to lure him back to the group. Hey, we'll clean you up, we'll take care of you. Actually, I wouldn't even take him back. I'd take him somewhere where I could clean him up without having to take him to the location, a river or something like that, and then find out what type of, if he opens up. If he doesn't open up at all and he looks strung out at all, then we're probably going to by force take him and take him to another location far away and set him free and let him go. If you don't want to talk, you don't want to do nothing, that's fine, but you're not going to.
But if you get to the point where you have to take somebody somewhere by force, why waste the energy? And just, okay, we know you're a threat.
This was close to camp, wasn't it? Isn't this close to where we're at, Pop B?
I think it's about a mile out. I think all I would do, it's a little bit of a mixture. I do like the fact that Beck was brought it up when he's saying, why don't you have an Overwatch? So if you had some kind of a satellite patrol going out there, it'd be fantastic. 2 and 2, you guys could radio communicate and have each other's backs. But if you had somebody that you had that was non-compliant and you have to forcefully detain them, I think I would push the patrol, send back where that location is, and have a team watch him from a distance, right? If they can. Somewhere where it's kind of more of an LP. Watch what he does. So as we leave,
yeah, you're going to want to do that.
Does he try to report? Because then you're going to see his reaction of a team just left. Does he get on the radio? Does he? And if you can get all that kind of information, then great. And now you know a little more. So either the dude's a freaking psychopath, a druggie, he's just in shock and doesn't know what to do. You know what I mean? You can assess a lot more. Because I ain't taking a freaking druggie in.
Yeah, you're not going to want to like walk up the moment you see him. You're going to want to observe.
You know what's really scary about the whole situation? In fact, here's my suspicious mind again. Is the fact that maybe another group had him, captured him and his wife and children, and they beat the shit out of him, and they've been watching you for a little while, and they're not sure how to approach it, so they basically take and beat the shit out of this guy and put him out there and tell him, if you don't do what we tell you, we're going to kill your fucking family. And then now you're being over there and being all nice to him. You're bringing him back to the location and, or whatever, question him. And now they, there's ways of people gaining information without ever even saying anything, man, if you know what to pay attention to.
Well, he's not. If he comes back to that location, he ain't leaving that location. He's going to be in them shackles for a while.
Well, okay. The first thing you would have to do is clean him up a little bit and find if he's non-responsive. Is that his blood or is it somebody else's blood? Where is his injury? Start from there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Would you want to? Well, there's two things. Would you want to deal with anybody that you can't have a simple conversation with, no matter really what they've been through? If you can't be like, hey, take off your shirt, let me see if you're hurt, right? Because you don't want to come up on him. Because what if he does have needles on him and he's just a drug addict? You start patting him down, you stab yourself
in the face immediately. Yeah,
you get hepatitis and you start bleeding out your eyes. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of really bad things that can happen by just.
There's where I was going next too when you started talking about the blood. What Yankee said. How do you
Maybe. Yeah. Who knows what's going on?
But I like I don't know how quickly I'm going to jump down and start trying to help someone out if they're bleeding right like now, because there's a lot of shit out there, man, that's not good for you. You get that blood on you, man. It's that's a bioweapon, bro.
You don't want to be touched with that vaccine blood. That shit burns through like alien spit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. That vaccine blood, man. It's like, dude, it's like some type of like injection that goes into your skin, man, and
everything in this show is for entertainment purposes only.
Hey, so we're gonna switch it up. So everything you thought about, the whole entire process that you've gone through your mind for this person and what you're gonna do and how you might deal with it, we're gonna change it to it's a 10-year-old girl, right? The person that you're seeing is not an older man or woman. It's a 10-year-old girl. She's still bloody. She's still dirty. She's playing with a knife in the dirt and wasn't really paying attention to you, right? So just off the cuff, no more answers besides this. Do you approach her or do you not approach her?
10-year-old? No. That's old enough to know. Fuck that. I will holler from it. What are you doing, little girl? At all. Like, what you doing, little girl? What's going on? You talk to me from 50 feet away. No, little psychopath.
Okay.
Fuck that.
Okay. Well, what are you gonna say backwards?
I was trying to get them not both to talk at the same time. I was letting Hutch finish. Well, Hutch, actually, you were talking first. I was actually, so Red Dawn really deserves to flip me off. But
okay, so backwards had nothing to say.
What I was gonna say.
That's not all, folks.
If it's like a what I'm figuring is probably a 10-year-old girl and she's over there, maybe she's got a little blood on her or whatever, dirty, and she's sitting over there kind of whatever. I'm probably going to instruct the team, hey, let's back off a little bit, let's kind of spread out just a little, let's keep obviously your eyesight and everything, and let's spread out and let's just sit here for a little while and let's watch, let's just see what happens, because that could be a setup. It could just be a girl that got away from something. Maybe her parents died and maybe she really needs help, but I don't want to approach that situation too soon.
Oh, hold on. So I was just saying, are you going to approach or not approach? I mean, that was a book. No. Okay. No, here's what I was going to say. So you holler out, or you try to get her attention, or you approach, or whatever it is. But when she sees you, when she acknowledges you're there, she's smiling, holding her knife. Hey.
10-year-old?
10-year-old girl.
Yeah, that bitch is out of her mind, first of all. We're going to work with that. We're going to work with that.
No offense. No offense to anybody out there. Y'all, this real shit. Are you close enough to tell if there's some kind of autism? Because it could be a child that escaped from a family or a traitor.
It looks like someone that's been on their own and finally sees somebody. That kind of look where you're like, holy shit, there's someone else, and they're smiling, right? So you got a little 10-year-old girl.
I would send one. As soon as if you get a friendly response, I would send one person and have everybody else stay on Overwatch to get a little bit closer and assess the situation and slowly move in, or bring the kid away from the open spot where they're at to your position.
I would start with drop the damn knife.
Yeah, I would too. You're not coming with the knife.
And see if they're compliant for something so simple as drop the knife. If they're happy to see you, they'd probably drop it happily, and then you can talk to them easier. Maybe.
What if she just, like we talked about, she just escaped something? Someone came in her house, one crazy person, killed her parents. She killed the guy with the knife, and that's the only thing she has left from what just happened. And she's like, no, I'm not dropping the knife. I don't trust you guys. You're a bunch of grown-ass men, and I'm a little girl. I think I can be fine with my knife.
Then you go to your conversation.
Yeah.
Talk it out. You're going to have to build some kind of a rapport, because if you don't build that, then you're not going to have anything anyways.
If you can't establish the trust in a reasonable amount of time that's not going to deter your main goal, then you just got to keep it pushing. Like if you, the same situation, but that kid is like, oh my God, it's men, and they take off running into the woods and be like, we're not chasing her. We're going this way. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So The response matters.
Here's the ticker that I was trying to build up to, right? Red Dawn, we're talking about just, let's get rid of somebody. No one's really gone to that. I know I'm not saying they have, but let's just say you try to talk to this person. Hey, drop the knife. Hey, wait there. And they're just so happy to see you. Or maybe that's what it is. That they're like, fuck this, I'm going to go give that dude a hug. Holding the knife and walking straight to you and not stopping and just maybe picking up their speed a little bit. And they're closing distance with you. Just a 10-year-old.
How old is this girl?
It's a 10-year-old.
I'm a Spartan kicker right in the chest. Full-blown Spartan kick. Boom.
Yeah.
Get out of my bubble.
I was gonna say I'd probably have if I seen this, I'd have some type of like beater stick or something to where I can hit her arm at a distance. And a 10-year-old girl, that fucking arm is done. She's dropping that fucking knife. I don't think I'd have to shoot her, but I do think I can take that fucking knife whenever I want to.
What Sport Brand is saying there, if you would please, kind sir. Like, I get the logic, but you can go on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, what all these different sites, and you can see news reports, CNN, Fox, MSNBC. 11-year-old, 12-year-old girls murdering people in school. The stretcher, Slender Man shit was a bunch of little teenage. You know what I mean?
That's true.
It's a different world out there. Just 10 years old don't mean shit.
Honestly, if you fire a warning shot at this girl's feet as she's coming, she's gonna drop that fucking knife anyway. You don't even have to kick her ass. You shoot around at her and say, if you don't drop that, this next one's going in your head. And we want to help you, we want to protect you, but put the fucking knife down. And if she don't do it eventually, then that's where it's like, we're gonna come take this bitch from you. We're gonna come take that damn knife from you and break your arm. So you can either put it down or something bad's gonna happen.
For the exception of a mental disorder, that's old enough to understand completely fine the commands and the things you're throwing at them. For the rescue them, young girl needs protection, all that. There was a scenario that is one of them. That was the kid that gets saved. You bring him in, and he comes in, and in the middle of the night, after he's built some kind of a trust with you, because he's a child and they're innocent, and it's easier to build rapport with a kid that's just looking up to you and listening to you. And then all of a sudden they unlock the door and they let in a group that's been waiting for 2 or 3 days for a signal. You know what I mean? Like that was the other scenario I had a long fucking time ago. They basically allowed someone to get in. A 10-year-old could easily take a knife and do something deadly to somebody that's the only person awake in a house that's there to protect. A 10-year-old is way smart enough to convince you that they're a perfect little angel who just escaped this place just to spend a week in your compound, learn the layout, and unlock every door while you're asleep.
Yeah, but as we talk about, you still do have Overwatch. You still have someone who's not sleeping. You still this kid is never going to be trusted because they are from the outside. They got to be put in a certain area. You're going to have someone watching their ass 24 hours.
The average American, are they going to just? There's a 12-year-old running around playing, acting like a kid for 3 solid days. Oh, she's just a little sweet, misunderstood angel.
Somebody going to get fucked.
A lot of people are going to. You talk about 90% of the world dying. People. I mean, I'll probably die in the first week, but I'm just saying, I want to take the risk. I want to take the risk. So
if you don't speak English, keep it pushing. I ain't got time.
I mean, if you have other kids, around and you see this kid interacting with the other kids in your group, you're gonna know quickly what the fuck they maybe have all that fucking wisdom, right? That you're talking about, Hutch. But the moment you place them with other children, you're gonna see what kind of kid it really is.
Kid, there's little psychopaths, man. There are. The first time I was ever in a house that got kicked in by the police for a search warrant was for a 10-year-old for selling weight, like moving.
Well, what I'm saying is that you're going to see a tick of that psychopathic thing when you shove them into the group with you will see a tick, bro. I promise.
It depends, though. It depends. Because if there's chores and stuff like that, or if there's people who are like, no, we got to quarantine her for a couple days, and how many kids are in the group? What's the age differences? All that's going to make a big difference. Because if they came from a place that had children already, then they already know how to interact with other children. It's not that easy or not that hard to blend in. Oh, I'm just having fun. I know I've got a mission.
Let's say you got another 10-year-old or 12-year-old. Once you strip her of all this shit, she's not. You'll have that 10-year-old start. You have to play the same game, and having your 10-year-old and your 12-year-old asking them questions on all kinds of shit. Right. Where'd you come? What group did you do? Because they may not tell you. They may be used to lying to adults.
But see, you figure though, we forget we're years into shift already, which means this child was brought up in this environment already. It's not yesterday they were at the mall buying fucking skinny jeans and all of a sudden now there's a kid on the road. No, we've been like this for years already. So this motherfucker's already seen and done some shit.
I can't lie. Just by the look of them, they might not be getting fucking even approached and they may just get that clap. But that's just upon the feeling that you get, the spirit that you feel is there. There's a lot of factors that go into just seeing something versus us imagining it.
Not say your name. RDNKRFNK.
Redneck roughneck.
Yeah.
Right. Kids can manipulate other kids 1,000%. You get one cool ass tween, drop them in there with your fucking 7 or 8 year old. Done.
Oh, fuck that.
Done.
Them bitches.
So
no tweens going down around my 8-year-olds.
Here's where a whole bunch of people are going to go fucking crazy then, right? We've been talking about this paranoid scenario this whole time about some kid coming in and doing all this. So now every single time, let's say you're really put in this situation, you're going to be thinking about this 24/7, unless you have some kind of, the vetting process, like we talked about, little tiers, where you have people you trust that can watch them that aren't going to get all emotionally attached to some random child or anything like that. Like you're going to have some kind of guideline to bringing in, like Dak was and Hush, like you guys said, right? Where you can't just sit there and bring in people like I will at the very beginning. But if you bring in a kid, instead of obsessing over it and constantly going through scenarios in your head, driving yourself crazy, having trust, the whole trust but verify, inspect what you expect kind of thing, where you're bringing them in, and then you're watching, or you have some means to see if what your hunch was correct or not.
I think for a month, you're at least a month. What did he say?
It's what Mad Dog Readiness.
Girl, you send the girl in, and this place has got a whole bunch of a little hormonal boys.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna happen,
bro. You're gonna have to strong arm a lot of, especially kids, bro. This kind of stuff is when you start to move into a world where it's this type of living, a lot of behaviors and shit like that, you got to nip in the fucking bud quick.
You see the reality of the world right now. Yeah. The OnlyFans, the Instagram fucking prostitutes, all these little hookers and shit that are running around now. It's going to be even worse because that's going to be the only commodity a lot of people have is sex and drugs, real shit, the vices. And that's where the cons they're going to come from. People, real shit. I mean, it happens now. People are going to have babies simply for the fact of turning them into little prostitutes and sending them out there to con people and to rob people and to infiltrate shit just with their bodies. Plain and fucking simple at every age. And that's just, it happens now. It's definitely going to happen afterwards. That's, honeypots. Yeah.
It all does depend on the group. I mean, if your group is really not able to take in more people, then I don't think you should ever stretch yourself out. Like, I'm sorry for your situation, but like I said, you can't be everybody's Superman just because they got a fucking real sad story and they have Sarah McLachlan playing in the background.
There's a difference between inviting somebody back for the long haul or just simply rendering aid and finding out where they come from, because they might have an established area that you want to go visit and be like, oh shit, you guys got resources we don't have. You know what I mean? But yeah, never bring anybody back unless there's. You come to my place, you're going in a cage for a week. Real shit.
Cage. Real shit.
I want to hear how you cry. I want to hear what you complain. I'm hungry. I want to know how much of a bitch you are.
Waterboarding, all that shit.
Potentially. Yeah.
People will say whatever you want to hear if you start torturing them. Mm-hmm. They'll agree to shit that don't make any sense.
I want to torture people.
You want to torture people?
Everything in this show is for entertainment purposes only.
No, it's not. That's on my bucket list. I want to cut them off.
I will say,
Jesus Christ! Please be in the heart of these men right here.
Probably my second favorite. Well, one of my favorite things that I've ever heard anybody say is what General Mad Dog Mattis said. When he said, "Be polite, be professional, but have a plan to kill everyone you meet."
Yes,
that is words to live by. So in other words, don't just run around being paranoid. Bring people in, vet them, learn about them, understand who you're going up. Is not everybody's a freaking crook and a criminal. There will be some.
So let me ask you this:
what's up, Devil Dog?
Is ready to help.
What the fuck was that?
Holy crap! Hey, your AI sex bot is talking.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
Sounds like it sounded like your GPS.
What did it say? I heard something, but I was like, what?
Backwoods, make a left at the next stop sign.
I don't know what the fuck that was. That was weird. I don't know where that come from, man. Anyway, I think
that's what I'd say too if my wire started going off halfway through a live stream.
Right. Holy shit.
He's like, damn, that Temu doll I bought is talking again.
See, we thought it was Pop B this whole time, but it was really Backwoods. He played the long game on us. You sneaky son of a bitch.
I don't know.
I think Roots, I think we should have one more scenario because I don't know if you've ever had one like this. Maybe you have.
Yes,
but let's say you are the one who's lost everything.
Let me get coffee.
Go ahead. What was that, Backwoods? Yeah, reverse it, and you're the one that's lost everything. And you're wandering through the fucking woods. You've lost literally all of your gear. You've been raided. You've lost everyone in your group. And you're fucked up, right? You may have a couple weapons on you from the end of this thing that you escaped with. You might have maybe a backpack with you. You might have a little bit of shit, right? But
Bluetooth mode. The Bluetooth device is ready.
You hear that shit? That's my speaker talking over here.
What is that thing?
It's Bluetooth something. Speakers, Bluetooth speaker. That's what he keeps saying. Bluetooth device.
Yeah, sometimes it's like you just haven't connected. They talk like that.
I will tell you real shit. As of right now, the way I see it, because nobody ever actually knows until they're in that situation. But if I got to the point to where I lost the land, the family, the group, every single person, I'm walking around fucked up. I'm going feral.
Red. Yeah.
I'm going
if I lose my daughter, I'm going feral.
Facts.
I'm going to rob and shoot anybody that comes across my path. I'm going to avoid giant crowds and groups. Like fuck it. It may not last forever. It may be a couple years. It may be a couple months. But real shit, I would if I ain't
suicide
got nothing
mission.
To do, fucking yeah. I'm going feral.
I would turn into that paranoid situation that we keep on talking about. All these scenarios would be like that. The path I would take, probably.
Yeah.
Because I say that not because that's my intention. I can't wait to kill people, but I would go nomad. That's just I'm a fucking highway freak. You know what I mean? I'm an old fucking saddle tramp. I would go.
Yeah, and you have a broken arm and a rolled ankle. You can barely walk.
Dang, what do I have? Erectile dysfunction too? What's going on here?
I don't know. That's a personal problem.
Well, I mean, if you're in that situation, broken,
you lost it all, bro. You lost it all.
Fuck it.
I could be the sweetest guy I need to be if they have a doctor, and I'll help out, and I'll recover, and I'll do whatever I've got to do, and I'll freaking play the game. I'll play the game, long game, until I'm feeling like fully healed, and they have taken care of me, getting me their antibiotics and all that shit. Maybe I'll stay. Maybe I'll leave.
Yeah, just disappear in the middle of the night if you want to. Yep.
Disappear during the fucking day. Yeah, I'll go on a patrol with you. And they fucking hit out, and everyone's
wander off.
What they're doing, and I just fucking dip.
It would be 50-50. Wanderlust, but at a certain point of if anybody has ever been in a segregation for like long periods of time, like you get accustomed to that to where it does make you almost paranoid to a certain extent, to where, you know what I mean, you've kind of got that mindset, just the breaking point of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I would feel that way for a while, but I think that I would become this like crazy servant of just whatever my spirit told me to do that was good, without any feeling of care of what happened to me in regard, like the shit that Pop B's talking about. Like, I'd be going up to people, I'd be trying to help people, I'd be trying to do whatever, and I wouldn't give a fuck if something bad happened to me. I wouldn't care anymore if I lost my family like that, but I would try to do as much good as I can on a suicide mission. I had to be on a suicide mission for good things.
Yep.
And be like, if I fucking die doing it, I die doing it. But you know what? If I die, I could care less. I'm going to go be with my family. But I'd be trying to do every good thing that I possibly could do in that mission. That would be the rest of my life's mission. Is I've lost this stuff. I'm not looking to rebuild. I'm not the type to, what I got is what I got for my life. And if that doesn't work out, then, I'll be a freaking...
It depends on how much
for
trust you lose in civilization at that point. Like, if you've lost everything, some people can still have a little bit of hope and say, okay, we can get through this. You know what I mean? So it all depends on,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd be living for eternal life at that point, whether right, wrong, indifferent, correct, not correct. I would be trying to serve God and be a vessel for whatever mission he wants to do. The manner
of which you lost everything. Was it a Negan situation? Could you imagine your wife getting hit on the side of the face and her eyeball popping out of her head? Could you live with that image for the rest of your life, as opposed to she just came in and got shot in the chest? You know what I mean? Does the graphicness change the severity of what you turn?
I mean, maybe it would like make that crazy point last for a while, like trying to mentally just negate it, like to go on, like the part to not kill yourself. But once you can get past the point of like, I'm not gonna kill myself over this, I would just serve God in every freaking way I could, regardless of what happens to me. I would care less about my physical being, what pain I went through, what anything I went through, and I would try to carry that cross, because in my mind, at this point, that's my only chance left in all of stories that I've heard throughout the existence of my life, that I may see them again if I do that. And that's how I'm gonna roll if that happens to me.
Just remember, this is years into shift, y'all. Years into shift.
Yeah, at least like 7 or 8 hours.
Yeah.
What?
Facebook hadn't been on for 3 hours. Go.
I can't update my status.
Well, I mean, you're making fun of that, but people are going to freak the fuck out when they ain't got no interwebs, or they can't get their, some of their stuff. What's up, Kevin Ramsey? Yeah, people are going to freak out, man, when they go and slide that fucking card and it don't work. It's going to start getting salty real quick, I think, because you got to understand that unless like Trump comes in and everything changes for a good while or whatever, at the situation we're in right now, man, I'm telling you, if shit went down right now, dude, this country is going to go ballistic.
Yeah,
I'll check it out, Modern. Yeah, I mean, that's how I would approach it. I'd be grateful for whoever helped me, and I would help them and just be a servant.
Would it be so if you're in that situation, would you choose a nomadic lifestyle, or would you find another settlement and try to reach?
I'd probably choose nomad if I could, but my nomad would be finding people to help. Like all the shit that Pop B we've talked about of like, these people need help. I'd walk up to shit regardless of what happens to me. I just wouldn't care. I'd try to find like people that need help, and I'd help them.
This little superhero kind of thing.
Yeah, because I have nothing to lose at this point. I've lost it all. What the fuck do I see? The reason I'd be that way before, I have all this shit. I don't want to lose the shit I have. I don't want anyone to harm my family. But once, if that was taken away, then I don't care. Stab me, shoot me, hang me upside down, burn me on fire. I could care less.
I'm okay with not being hung upside down and burned alive.
I mean, I know if that happened to my kids, I could give a flying shit if someone hugged me upside down and burned me if they weren't there. I could care less.
I don't know. I would do dangerous shit. I would take a lot more risk if I had no responsibility.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so we're talking.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry that because the speaker was screwing me all up. I didn't know what. I don't even know how it started doing that to begin with. But anyway, so we're talking in a shit scenario, and the old lady and the kids get wiped out in front of you or whatever it is, but they're wiped out. They're gone, and now you're just by yourself.
You're by yourself. You have nothing,
Man.
You have a broken arm.
I'm gathering up some of these ladies from the chat, and we're scheming on some folks, man. Knee pads Harris ain't got shit on what I'm about to have these ladies do.
The backwoods brothel.
Yeah, we're
Down
going.
in the swamps.
Yeah, we're gonna end up running a compound before long. It won't take long either.
Hey, once you get your brothel set up, you hit us up over here at Bartertown, and we'll supply you with the alcohol and the marijuana.
Yes.
Modern frontiersmen, the show would not be any fun if we said every situation we don't know what we're gonna do.
Right. Oh, I 1,000% know what I would do.
1,000.
Well, yeah, we were talking about that earlier too, Modern. Is that well, I wouldn't be able to make my own sandwich, Virginia, because my arm's broke. So yeah, I mean, y'all would have to do it. So anyway,
You have to left hand that shit like this.
If your arms were broke, they would just be smacking the shit out of you constantly. Like, hit back, pussy.
yeah, none of us. I mean, you know, when it really comes down to the realness of it, when none of us really know truly what we would do, because each situation warrants something a little different. You know, I mean, you can have plans, and then, you know, there's still that whole thing of adapt and overcome. And, you know, because, you know, the plans for your plans of the plans that the plans you had over here may not, none of that shit work. And so you have no idea, but we really like doing these war games because it gives you a lot of shit to think about. You know, I may disagree with Pot B or Hutch or Red Dawn on something or this and that. And then later on, because I've done this many times with these war games that we do, and I go and, you know, ponder on it for the next 3 or 4 days, you know, and once in a while, you know, I'll be like, you know, he said this, and I'm sitting there thinking, you know, if this situation happened. So it really gives you something to think about.
Yeah, you tweak it and re-examine it. Yeah, I mean, because real shit, I mean, Backwoods will admit it. I'll admit it. I don't know if Pop B will do it or not, but sometimes we just play devil's advocate and say shit opposite of what we would do, or just, hey, this is what I would do, and it's just to add in the other perspective.
Right. Yeah, we do play devil's advocate a lot. We do that a lot. We may talk a bunch of shit online and then go backstage and be like, yeah, I wouldn't do that. What I would do is this, you know, just to put a different perspective. It's not that we're trying to trick anybody. It's the fact of trying to put a different perspective out there. You know,
if you can't live in a what if world, then you will not have the imagination to survive the reality of a shift. Real shit.
True.
You're also
right. There's a lot of people you're like, these are what if situations. And they'll be like, well, that'll never happen because the law said, okay, you're going to die. You have no imagination. There's no point even. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of rabbit holing the situation, is to think of every situation, every scenario, whether you agree with it or not, is fucking irrelevant. It's a situation that could and potentially will happen.
And no matter what, everyone at some point, if it actually goes into shift, at some point you'll be a marauder. I'm just saying, prove me wrong. Hey, everyone, change my mind.
Well,
One thing that I do know that I would want, if I lost everything, I would want a glorious death after that. I would want one. I don't want to die an old man. I don't want to fucking make it in some strange people that I didn't raise up as my family taking care of me. I do not want that. I want
to go all at once.
I'm a big fan.
I would want a glorious warrior death.
If I don't have anybody else to carry on my legacy, I'm like, okay, my name dies with me at this moment right now. Then let's blow up the whole fucking town. Hypothetically, this is a fake town. YouTube.
Everything's for entertainment purposes only.
Like seriously,
your grandkids will remember my fucking name, kind of shit. You know what I mean?
I want to come and go all at once, man. I want to go out stabbing the shit out of somebody.
I do know I don't want to die in bed. I don't want to die with the fucking catheter shoved up my fucking pee hole of somebody white.
Fuck that.
I don't want to die like that. I don't want to die in a hospice type situation. No, I want to go out. Either working or fighting.
If I'm in a hospice situation surrounded by all my grandchildren and my kids, and I'd rather that than something else, because I'd want to see them all till my very last second. I can't see them, and I'm cool with that. But if like you said, you don't have anything else going on to live for like that, then I want the warrior's death, bro. There's a reason a lot of men,
I don't know, man.
A lot of men in ancient times, bro, they refused because, first of all, they didn't have catheters. They didn't have none of that shit. They died when you got old. You died real fucked up.
There's some native people that they knew it was their time and they were burdened. They would walk off into the woods and lay on a tree and just die. Boom, we'll come and get you in a week. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Well, and that's that. Yeah, you gotta. I don't know, the warrior's death. I mean, yeah, I guess, wanting to die like that, but wanting and shit in one hand and
it's not so much about the warrior's death. It's about the not being feeble when you go.
Good.
Do something.
Yeah, I'm thinking a warrior for God, but I'm not thinking like I'm just gonna go kamikaze on the suicide mission. Nah, not that shit. Like like I said, I would approach people I normally wouldn't. I would do things I normally wouldn't, and if I died, so be it. But I wouldn't be like, okay, I lost everything. Now let me build a little wooden hut and sit here and try to start a new little forest by my nah, that shit ain't gonna work for me. I'd lose it more. I don't want to replay it in my head for the next 25 years.
It's all gonna come down for me, real shit. It's gonna come down to how graphic it was and how much did I see. Is how much of my morality I'm gonna keep. I'm a dark person anyway, so if you know what I mean. It depends on what I see.
You're gonna sit there and be like, I just lost everything, and it's time to get on the road. And right when you head out there, this tree's gonna fall down, pin your leg into the ground, and you're gonna stay there and starve to death for like.
Oh, fucking suck!
You're like, this is it. This is bullshit.
You're like seeing this perfect opportunity to run into like a battle zone and take out some enemies, maybe that was, and you trip and fall on the way and fucking bust your head open and knock you stupid and shit, and then they come over and beat the shit out of you.
This is a great comment right here.
You're gonna jump through a window trying to get into cover, but the floor's not gonna be there because of construction. You're gonna fall straight into the basement.
I'm one of them dudes that would set like piano wire and fucking punji sticks and shit. Like I'm not a big gun guy. I would rather use like machetes and that kind of shit. Like I'm a big blade kind of guy.
I mean,
so
if you think
about booby traps and shit, that's what I'm fucking with.
If you think about how high a truck is and people standing in the back, and then you had piano wire. As just hypothetical, entertainment purposes only. You had the piano wire up there, and someone's racing towards your house. That's pretty.
Yes.
Damn.
Right. That's
that
where
shit looks like right out of the 40 Thieves.
He's not an average sized man. That's a 3-inch folding knife right there.
What the fuck, man? Really? Really, man?
Bro,
that's fucked up, man.
That was savage.
I'm gonna cut you with this motherfucker next time I see you now.
But that's what it's going to come down to. People are going to reserve their ammo for real situations, and most things are going to come down to fucking sticks and stones. It's going to go, you know what I mean? That's what it's going to come down to. Blunt objects, clubs, axes.
That's hilarious.
Just because people have guns, if there's a 10 million guns out there after the apocalypse, how many gun cleaning kits are there? How many people know how to maintain them weapons after?
I don't know. I've got like
I don't even need a gun cleaning kit to clean that bitch.
I've got like 15.
I'll fucking cut up a t-shirt and fucking make it happen with some car oil and
yeah, but see, that's us. That's not the average fucking American. You know what I mean?
I mean, you could use a little bit of vegetable if you need to.
He's got a hot tool on that thing.
I think most people will actually, when it gets to a certain point, whether they've got a limited amount of ammo or no ammo left, most people are going to trade their firearms for some kind of false sense of security, whether that be to a government agency, whether that be to Bot B saying, yeah, you can come live with me, but you're going to get disarmed. Whatever the situation may be, most people are going to freely hand over their firearms for
Safety
security.
Yeah.
I think most people, but I think there's a massive population of people that have been waiting for this shit to kick off, and they're finally going to go full fucking
exactly. But after that, we're a couple years into shift. Those two groups, they're going to kill each other off. There's going to be a big chunk out of each one of those groups that are going to be gone, and the only thing going to be left is the sheep struggling in the middle who don't know shit about it.
And the fucking ultimate wolves. The ultimate wolves will be left as well.
I'd say the lucky wolves. Their numbers will grow, and they'll get thinned out, but you'll still have their numbers will grow. People will join them. People will
sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
All gums up when it gets too hot. Well, I'll tell you what does happen when you don't try to use something when you ain't got anything, and you just try to figure something out. You can, if you don't oil it, at some point you're going to have a gun that's going to jam up and lock up, and so you can always clean something. That's the. You
could always grab some vegetable oil.
Yeah.
And you got to think too. Also, if you're this far into shift, you get like a Jimenez 9mm, you get a high point. You can only put so many rounds through that before that gun is fucking done. Just completely trashed, because you're not going to get replacement parts. You're not going to find a new barrel. You're not going to find a new slide.
Yeah, but most guns, Hutch, in a war type situation, if you make it through that many fucking rounds, you're a fucking ultimate warlord. You got more shit.
Yeah, but we're talking about years into shift. You only have a limited amount of ammo. If you make it years into shift and you only have 1 or 2 firefights, realistically,
that gun's gonna be pretty new then.
Well, I mean, what if you can gain a foothold, you get a territory, you control it, and
that motherfucker's bad backwards.
Don't use your ammo, and you don't use all these guns, and you keep them preserved, like long-term preservation. And then in 5 years, you have the guns and no one else does.
Yeah.
Well, no one else does.
I mean, dude, the area I'm in, there's probably, I'd hate to say there's more guns in my state than any state, but I'd be tempted to put my state up against anywhere. There's fucking guns and ammo everywhere. And some of the people that don't fucking shoot ever, you would be shocked at how much ammo is piled in their house from 20 years, 30 years of sitting in their house. The one that looks like a penis.
That tells me nothing.
Wow.
If you're east of the Mississippi, I don't know shit about you.
Perfect.
No, I'm just kidding. James Lynch, you can go buy them at Academy Sports. They are Reaper.
The moment you put it up, I knew exactly where you got that bitch. I'm gonna go scoop one tomorrow. I'm like, fuck, I've been waiting to get one.
Reaper makes like that spear. They make some big ass damn
Spartan swords.
Yeah, swords. They got all kinds of cool shit. Yeah, there you go. That's it right there. That's sword.
I got the samurai, but I like the Spartan sword.
He got that for when he was a stripper. That was part of his costume. They had Roman orgy night on stage, and Pop B was like, "Fuck it, I'm down."
Don't tell everybody.
Yeah,
I told you that in confidence.
You guys got time for one more scenario?
I think real quick, I think that spear, I think they're about $50 or $60 down there at the, and I think the sword that Pop B just showed is like $50 or $60 too.
I hope not. I bought it when I was drunk.
Yeah, they're
buzzed.
The most guns per capita, though, is like the most guns per person in the state, right? Wyoming also has a really low population, don't they?
Wyoming
What-
got hardly anybody.
Yeah. What states have the highest population and also are extremely pro-gun? That's where you're going to find the most guns and ammo.
I mean, you think Montana too? Democrat every fucking time. Huge amount of guns.
Very low population there, though. Montana, I think, only has 7 million in the whole state, and it's massive. The state's fucking massive.
You got some 39 million in California, 30 million in Texas. Several states have less than a million, like Wyoming.
So
Hell, the only thing
Texas and Florida by far are going to have the most guns and ammo laying around than any two states. They have the highest population.
Also got the most fuck ups too. That's why we live over here in Missouri, in America, where it's a nice little ratio.
Y'all came late to the country, bro.
Mate,
Y'all went on them 13 stars.
I know we came late and we still ended up better than all y'all motherfuckers.
For registered firearms, Texas and Florida are almost tied.
And Texas is way bigger than Florida, bro.
Yeah, Texas and Florida are almost tied. And then you got California. California is the third on the most registered.
Wow.
Yeah, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Ohio, Virginia.
I'm telling you.
But that's registered. What counts as registered? 'Cause remember a while back, you could sell a long gun, and you know what I mean? Like there didn't have to be a registration.
It's the NICS system. So anything that went through the NICS system, like actually got called in and like did the
population of that is gonna outweigh unregistered guns, though. Your unregistered population of guns in America is probably like 2%.
Then you got to look at ghost guns. Then you got to look at the fucking pop guns, all the little homemade deals with wood and fucking pipe.
Missouri's ninth. Missouri's ninth on there.
Every time I've ever been to a gun show, man, there's more guns sold in the parking lot than inside.
Don't start.
We're in Arkansas. That's why we don't. That's why we're not real high up on there. We buy guns other ways.
People have been sharing.
Right.
There's no such thing as the gun show loophole. Everything in this show is for entertainment purposes only.
Hey, there really isn't a gun show loophole. You go in there yourself, you got to do a check.
Yeah.
Private sales are private sales. They can be done anywhere.
Bro, if you have a wait period, they'll be like, "Hey, where you want this mailed to?" You're waiting.
Yeah, I don't know about. You know, the problem is that I've noticed is that you got the Kansas City Queefs up there.
Hey.
And so
Hey.
y'all can have a high registry of gun owners, but that don't mean shit, man. You know, a bunch of queefs up there, man. Y'all ain't 90% of you'll throw the son of bitches down on the ground the minute that shit breaks off.
Is this what it sounds like when someone tries to justify their position? You know, they try to make it better than it really is for them.
Yeah, I think that's.
We were just talking about where you're gonna find loot drops all over. I thought that was the basis of the conversation.
Right. It was, but we still have to defend Missouri against Arkansas
because it is better.
Unless it's going to combine and be Missouri.
See, we unite. We fully admit that Missouri is 1,000 times better than all of Arkansas, but under the banner of the Ozarks, we unite as one. We're Ozarkans more than we're Arkansans.
So you got shit fucked up, bro. You're talking to backwoods. I ain't fuck you and your unite bullshit when you're trying to tell me you're better.
Hey, bro. Let's lower the temperature. Let's lower the
temperature. Misery, and the Kansas City Queefs, and y'all play with dolls. And
we don't even.
Y'all buy Harley Davidsons so y'all can say y'all got one and you never ride the motherfucker.
Hey, we don't even
got dry rotted tires and shit on it.
We don't even know if you're actually from Arkansas. Show us your address.
Ain't even the motherfucker ain't even went out and got the break-in oil done yet. And tires already dry rotted.
You got a new bike clutch?
My shit's broken.
No, this motherfucker down here, man, he's got a brand new Harley down there. It's like a $40,000 Harley, man, and the tires are dry.
You can't be a warlord though if you don't have a Harley just to like roll into the group to talk to them on.
Dude, the sumbitch still has plastic wrap on it, shit, shipping wrap on it.
That's his throne when he's talking to the
He's had it for 12
group.
years. That's the thing. He's had it for 12 years, man, and it's not even. It ain't even got the damn. He didn't even wipe the damn shipping grease off of it yet.
I refuse to participate in this argument because it only would help backwards.
Him.
You would only help backwards.
That's funny.
Hutch, I'm not going to say anything derogatory towards you.
Right.
That's a tear in the eye right now. With
Oh,
for now, you going to get another one sometime soon?
Maybe. Eventually, I hope so.
But,
let's go one more scenario.
Let's go 5 more scenarios.
I'm about it.
hell, I don't give a shit.
Bring one up. Bring
Let
one
me
up.
take another hit, and we can do.
I brought the last one up. Someone else got to
Oh,
bring up one.
no. Virginia Roots brought the last one up. Don't be trying to take the
Up Virginia Roots is one that she brought up. That's true. Virginia Roots. I'll give you the credit, Roots. You brought it up.
I'm getting high as eagle pussy right now.
That is a very interesting scenario. So, what do we do in that scenario?
I'm trying to think of a scenario.
Snip and lick.
Glide your way down, man.
Okay, I've got a scenario for you.
All right, come on.
Ready? All right. So this is an alternate universe, right? You're at the rally.
Okay.
You had to go through a checkpoint. Not necessarily Trump. You're at a rally for somebody who's going to save the country. Blah blah blah. Whatever. So you go through the deal. There's a checkpoint. You can't take any weapons with you because you're at a fucking rally. You're surrounded by 75,000 people at this rally, outdoor venue.
Mm-hmm.
Shots go off, but more of a Vegas style shooter instead of the assassination attempt.
Okay, so the CIA. Gotcha.
Pretty much.
Combined with the Saudi Arabian government.
So you see the main speaker on stage is the person you're there to see. They instant JFK, boom,
Gone.
softball size hole in the back of their fucking head. Done. No question about it. You see at least 6 other people in your close vicinity, within 10 people, just drop. And you see splatter, you see everything in 4K. It's that close. You're right there.
Mm-hmm.
Mob starts screaming and starts rushing out. Where are you in that situation? You got your family, whoever your family is now, your wife, your kid, whoever would go to you with this event where you feel safe is who you have with you. Whether it's just you or your spouse, you or your children, mixture of the two, whatever.
You're gonna have a lot of chaos going on. I probably wouldn't be at an event that close with my family.
Yeah, me neither.
I might be there, but I'm gonna be towards the more comfortable side of it, where I've got 2 kids that aren't packed in there with me. You know what I mean? It's just
let's say your kids are older though, and they're in their early 20s, and we're like, we're gonna go. This is gonna be monumental, right? They're not kids anymore, but they're still they're still your kids. Yep.
You're on your own.
Well, that's something that you touched on right there, Pot B, that I've always been. That's kind of what we always done when we went to concerts or we went to these big venues, or whatever. We've always stood back, like when we go to eat at a restaurant, I go in and I scan the area. And the waiter's all like, "Come over here," and I'm like, "No, I want to be over here. I want to go over here because I scope things out like that, man. I don't like to be in the big center of a crowd, especially with my family, because things get hectic if gunshots start going off. Things can get hectic and people start, you can get bumped away from your wife, your child. You know what I'm saying? And the crowd, they're pushing, they're shoving, and you're like, fuck, you can't get through there. And the next thing you know, you have no idea where your kids and your wife is, So I've never been a fan of that shit.
Well, let me throw some caviar in there real quick.
All right.
So you all pretty much agreed that, I mean, I do it too. I stay by the entrance. That way it's close. But in this scenario, you're by the entrance, but yet you're still close enough to have all these bodies in proximity of you. So say you're not right on the exit, because nobody will be, because there's going to be security. There's going to be people coming in, going out. So you can't be right on it. So if that turns into a choke point to where you don't know where the shots are coming from, you just know that people in your proximity got shot. For all you know, those shots could have been coming from outside, somebody coming through the entrance. So the entrance is no longer an escape option for you.
Okay. So this is an inside venue, right?
Outside.
Outside.
Outside venue.
Choppers are in the air, like they were in Vegas.
So you've got an outside venue. The stage has obviously been made, right? They like to be fancy, so they like to put skirts up. They don't want to show exposed things and everything. So I am taking my family, if we are up that close, underneath that freaking stage. And they're going to hide. And I can go out and try to figure out and assess the situation and see what's going on. But I've got them at least concealed. I mean, it's not going to be cover. You can shoot through a lot of things. But at least they'd have some concealment. So they're not going to be an easily identified target, right? So I would push them underneath that freaking makeshift balcony, and then I would try to assess the situation. And I'd either die, or I'd figure it out, or hell, I might go underneath there with them and see what happens. But if I stay under there too long, then you have the chance of them cleaning out the whole place and then looking underneath there and killing us too. So I'd have to stay out and find out what's going on. I can't hide with them. I obviously don't have a gun because you said we got checked on the way in there.
Right. Completely distant.
I could throw insults at them.
I mean, even if you had a gun in the Vegas shooting situation, and the shit's either coming from a helicopter behind the fucking buildings or from the 40-something floor, it's like, what the fuck are you gonna do with your sidearm at that point?
You tell us. That's the scenario. Break it down for us.
I mean, I wouldn't even be pulling out my sidearm until I had something to shoot at, because I'm in this crowded area. And I don't want draw attention to yourself. So, I mean, my goal would be obviously to either find cover or get out of there. That has to be the first thing on the mind. I wouldn't even be opposed to taking some of these motherfuckers that got shot and crawling underneath their ass.
Virginia. Oh, sorry.
Scoot, we're in a hypothetical universe there, sir.
Criteria for good concealment. Good concealment is just where somebody can't see you.
You've got contrast,
trash cans.
You got contrast, color, and movement. It's the three things that eyes catch: contrast, color, and movement. So anything that's going to break up at least, well, I mean, all three of those would be fantastic. That's why I was saying hiding underneath the balcony. But if you could break up the color, camouflage, all that kind of thing, you could break up the contrast so you're not dressed in solid black in a freaking wooded area. That would be the contrast. It obviously sticks out. And well, I can't see you now.
If you're far enough from the stage or a point of cover, what is the reality or the chances that hiding under dead bodies would be the go-to move? How far away? Well,
if a round comes there again, then hopefully it doesn't go through them completely. It just stops in them. But
yeah, I'd say what is he shooting? But if it's like 5.56, it tumbles, and it's not really designed to kill. It's designed to
keep going.
Stop. It's not designed. That's why you have to shoot so many times. It's not
not if you're shooting green tips. That shit's going through their ass and fucking hitting.
Designed to shoot.
It tumbles.
It's designed to get 2 to 3 people off the battlefield by shooting one.
Yeah, people have to have
others trying to get him out of there.
That's why you do lead before med, and when you only take out one person, you still have people firing at you. Anyways,
okay. Now let me throw some more caviar in there.
I hate the ones where you're just fucked, like the ambush, and you're already you're like fuck.
Let's hear the caviar.
Let me throw some more caviar in there. So you're an outside venue. Let's say it's a football stadium. You're at Arrowhead, you know what I mean, in America, Chief Stadium, outside venue. So you automatically, like Poppy said, you assess the situation. You see the people coming in. You have to see them before, you know what I mean. That way you know that the entrance is fucked. you see a mixed group of people, civilians with long guns, shotguns, sidearms, and a few people that actually have a little bit of tactical gear, to where it doesn't look like an organized group, but it looks like just a random group of civilians that got together. You know what I mean? So it doesn't look like it's not a SWAT team, it's not a military unit. You know what I mean? Does that change the
kind of like the shit that happened in Russia at that venue? I mean, dude, you got to book it. You got to, wherever that shit's coming from, you got to try to go the opposite direction, find outs, find ways to get out. I mean, this is a perfect example, especially after seeing that shit in Russia. I would never, if I can't carry a weapon, I am not going. And if I can't carry 30 to 60 rounds, I'm not going.
But we're not talking about you're not going. We're talking about you're dead. That's the situation.
Somebody forced me. I lost a bet, had to shave my head and go.
Didn't we just have these I can't do what if things
right,
like not even 15 seconds ago?
All right. So, like I said, I mean, you got to find an exit that's the opposite direction of where you hear these fucking rounds going, or you could try to go get into a door and kick it closed and hold it closed. Most likely, they're not going to want to they're going to want to keep moving so that they can accomplish their mission and get the fuck out of there as well. So you want to find a door, a room. If you're in a football stadium, yeah, I'm not opposed to throwing people in front of me. Sorry, motherfucker.
Let me throw one more caveat, and then Backwoods can give an answer. You get to your concealment location. Your family's presumably in the safest spot that you could possibly find. You get out to assess, and you see that the entire stadium, whatever venue, is completely surrounded. Every single entrance, exit, every single door, completely surrounded. Firing has stopped, but you are completely surrounded.
I'm going up I'm looking for some type of air shaft, air ducts. Thing. I'm gonna put my family. We're gonna get in there, access that, and put my family inside there. Close the access back up, and we're going to be quiet and sit there until the good guys come.
So, is the venue inside now, or is it still outside?
Well, it's a football stadium. It has
like a stadium, so you'll have bathrooms, entrances, exits.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're gonna have air duct systems. I'm gonna look for something that is going to be less conspicuous as far as it goes for, I mean, trying to hide in closets and shit like that. People are going to open doors and look, but getting into some type of air ducts, there's, I mean, to me, that's what I'm doing. I mean, if we're completely surrounded and we're, it's kind of one of them deals where you're going to have to wait it out. Yeah, I'm looking for some type of air duct system to get into in a venue like that.
Listen here, Die Hard.
I'm just saying.
No, I mean, and if you're in some type of janitor closet or something like that, you got to throw everything that you can in front of the door. So they're just like, man, this is a pain in the ass. Fuck this door.
Rich has got a good question. What if it turns into it's a Chaz type situation? To where they come in, they round folks up and indiscriminately, okay, we'll assassinate a person here, assassinate a person there. You know what I mean? What if you're in that situation for weeks at a time?
I mean, this is almost like being in a bank robbery.
I mean,
probably worse.
I mean, if you got your family there, man, I mean, you only got two choices, bro. I mean, you in a Chaz Chop zone type scenario where they just randomly assassinate people, man, you ain't got but two choices: either fight or comply, man. I mean, it's you kind of, that kind of situation. You ain't got no armaments. You're there with your family. You're kind of at the mercy of those that have the armaments, and so you can either go all out and try to do something, maybe make plans with some people that are in your same scenario, your same situation. Mm-hmm. Maybe make some type of a group you know, under the
Yeah,
breath.
we got to get somebody's gun.
Yeah, we've got to all go, but I mean, you know, at once, you know, and you know, some of us are going to die, but we can't stop. We've got to get ourselves, our family out of this situation, or you comply. I mean, it's
going to have to be a lot of violence of action, because I mean, you already said they have all the exits and everything covered on a stadium. That's so many freaking people they got.
Yep.
I mean, you got to go potty at some point. If you don't give a shit, you'll pee on the floor.
Shit, I'll piss in my fucking pants and keep going. I don't give a fuck. You ever seen toddlers, bro? I got toddlers. They'll shit in their pants. You don't know for an hour and a half unless you check that shit.
That's keep going though. She's talking about if you're in an event 3 or 4 days, there ain't no keep going. You gotta sit there with that turd.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You probably don't want to wait a couple of days. You've got before they get established and before anything else happens, you probably want to start moving. I mean, I would. Hey, I'm just saying. I would almost rather.
No, if you don't hear nothing, you gotta stay moving. If you don't hear shit around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, with a group that big, how many of them possibly know each other? If they're really that,
the crowd of 75,000. So it's a big fucking crowd. There's a lot of
200-300 dudes have locked this fucking place down.
Yeah, but I'm saying with that many guys, do they have like uniforms? Do they have some kind of identification?
Just random tactical gear.
It looks like civilians. A few people have a hit and miss tactical gear. You know what I mean? Just regular civilians.
So, I mean, you could just sit there and just bullshit. You could try to bullshit your way through. With that many people, you don't know everybody. There's no way you know everybody. You could, hey, they're from company to company. Some guys don't even know each other that well. So, I mean, you could, and that's like, you know what? A platoon's freaking, let's see, a company be like 90, 60, 90. No, a platoon. Good Lord, a platoon. It's like 60 dudes.
Yeah, right. No, I mean, none of us would be there either. This is the whole point of talking it out. Just because
let's say it's an Antifa group, 300 and 300 in size, black ski masks, black fucking gay shit on, rainbow flags, all that shit.
Oh, if they got rainbow flags, I'm fighting every one of them. Limp-wristed sons of bitch, soy boy pussies. Take every single one of them. Shit.
I got one last scenario after this one.
Well, real quick before we move on any further, I want to bring up a situation that I'm sure Hutch will understand and agree with real quickly. You know, y'all two guys, man, over there. Y'all with the whole. I mean, Hutch, if you take a look, man, they can't grow facial hair properly, and so if you notice how both of them's mouth look like they're smoking crack, like their mouth sticks out real
backwards. I haven't had
because they don't
300 years under my belt to grow a beard.
You know what I'm saying? And it just I don't know. It looks funny.
By the way, Backwood's beard's really short. He's just not a normal sized person. It just looks long on him.
Man, you ain't never met him. You ain't got nothing to say.
Red Dawn had a beard back in high school. Then she broke up with him, and he admitted his truth. Okay, so he had one at one point.
Oh shit! Nah, that would never happen. I was smooth in high school. I was rocking this baby smooth. 4 squads at 13.52.
Just because it's a scenario that we wouldn't be involved in. This, like I said, in this scenario, there were 75,000 other people. So
yeah, you got to bum rush somebody.
75,000 people need to know that could be a reality in that situation. That's, you know what I mean. That's the whole thing about the what if.
I'm grabbing some of the dudes who've been drinking, who are fucking ready to fucking go because they've been screaming in the fucking stands. We're gonna make sure the kids are safe, and we're gonna fucking bum rush the dog shit out of some of these fuckers. And somebody's going to take some rounds, but we're going to fucking take their shit.
I am staying far away from the fucking drunks because that's where all the drama is going to be.
No, you want to send them at the beginning of the fucking bum rush. Put them in the front.
Right there. No, you hype them up and then you push them that way and you go the opposite way. That way the motherfuckers have a distraction.
But then you wait to find out if there's a gun available. And you're like, I'm sober. Give it to me.
I'm like, oh, you're drinking Bud Light? Shit, that dude just said something about your mama. handle that,
Right.
For sure. You're gonna have to do that.
You ran down your mama's leg.
Mhm. Live chat,
right.
y'all. If you're in top chat, do not even participate in this conversation. We are better than you top chatters. Real shit.
All right, I got a scenario here. This one is applies to all of us. Okay. You're laying in bed. You go to sleep. Let's say it's tonight. We get off this stream. You're probably a little wired. You shower. You clean yourself up. You get in bed. You get fucking chill. You close your eyes. You're knocked the fuck out. Sometime before that sun rises, them parachutes come in like Red Dawn. And there's a 1,000,000-man army of Chinese, Korean, Russian, all together on our soil, all around. You hear things, you see things. But Pop B, do I need to start over?
No.
You heard it all?
I'm fucking booking it, dude.
Where you?
Dude, I don't even know what you were talking about. Start over.
All right,
no, you're good. Continue where you started off. Don't let him distract you.
God created the heavens and the earth, and
Right.
the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep.
For entertainment purposes only. Entertainment purposes only.
Dude, that sounded just like Bill Hicks.
Jesus.
Um,
Hey, why are they flying into Missouri, man? That's like pretty far past everybody else. I mean, I figured that I'm gonna have
let's say it's 2,000,000-man army, North Korea, China, Russia, in the middle of our night, right? California goes last to go to sleep. Before the East Coast wakes up, while California's sleeping, this 2,000,000-man army drops all over the country. War is breaking out. They're kicking civilian doors in. They're doing like the November event in Israel, right? Maybe even you got Syria with them. Everyone comes at once in the middle of the freaking night.
I'm going to say 2 million men airdropping in is a lot of aircraft. And I feel like that I would know before they hit the coast that it's coming.
What if it's during a power outage?
Okay. But our military is not going to be in a power outage necessarily. There's a lot of safeties. You know what I mean? So there's going to be something that's going to.
Let's say the power went out while you were asleep and you don't even know it. And let's say that let's say it happened. All right. Let's say it's a mix between.
You're destroying the what if. The what if
you're
is
killing
that
it.
they're already here, not
They're
why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
They're already here.
All right. So Pop B.
I want to know why our military didn't stop some. That's it.
Okay. So here you go.
Here
you go. I'm going to explain it to you. Let's say that 500,000 of them had already crossed the border and they're all waiting to be activated. You have 1 million dropping out of planes at the same time. So you have 1.5 million there. You have another 250,000 entering on each coast off ships, right? The military may be busy with them, but the other 1.5 million is now on the ground here, kicking in civilian doors. And you wake up. Yeah, you got cartels mixed in with this group. You had this whole thing planned that they are going to attack us in the night.
I know how to exactly make this.
Pick it up, Hutch.
Okay, so how many flights cross this country every single day? If you've got a country that has billions of dollars to spend on killing us, it is not hard to hypothetically say Kim Jong and these terrorist fucks and these fucking goat fuckers put all their money together, bought 1,000 plane tickets over every state to jump out randomly, hijack the plane and jump out from a commercial airliner. Boom, already in the country. All you have to do is buy.
If you don't think that Temu can make 1 million parachutes, then you don't know. You ain't been on Temu long enough.
I don't think I'm going to take a Temu parachute.
Well, they will.
Walmart. Hey, I'll say this. 2 million people, right? Coming in. 50 states. Right?
48.
No, not 50. Yeah, the lower 48.
Okay, so just the continental United States. All right, so it's even going to break down less than that. I'm doing math. I'm just
lucky not if you hijack the plane.
You're doing in the situation. You hear all this shit. You're You turn on the news and there's an emergency warning there. That's all you got is this emergency warning over the radios that whatever's still working.
I would say this. I probably would try to figure out what the chances they're actually going to come to Missouri before anywhere else. But if they do come to Missouri, and you got, let's say,
Whiteman.
Let's say the 10 biggest cities we have.
I thought y'all were talking about. I thought y'all were talking about Missouri people. You said goat fuckers.
They want Whiteman Air Force Base. Think of it that way.
I'm just saying, if they just take the 10 biggest cities in the 48 states, right, in each of them, it's only a little over 4,000 people. If people actually fought against them, it's a reasonable thing to say we'd whoop their fucking ass.
All right. I agree. Now let's
I'll say 2 million. Well, I know, but you're talking about 2 million.
2 million.
2 million.
Let's take it up to 5 million. Okay. They're fucking everywhere. They've been sleeper cells in this country for 20 years waiting for this event that they've had as a backup plan, that they've had people coming in, not just in Biden's administration. They've been doing this for 30 years, waiting sleeper cells.
They're just like kicking in doors and killing people?
Yes.
Okay, well, fucking go time. I mean, my only option is fucking is strapping up and doing something, because if they're just kicking in doors,
you gotta strap
and
up,
killing people, then I'm gonna have to try to move my family to a bug out location, which is already my first thing. And we're gonna be a lot of people are gonna be done. I'm gonna strap up and move, and I'm gonna try to get to a better location. And I've got some people I'd have to try to probably not call up, because I'm sure I'd have no ability to. But they have the same idea that if they're in that situation, they'd meet up at the same spot. So, I mean, it's go time. It's game time.
If I see parachutes, I'm jumping in the car until I don't see people falling from the sky anymore, because it's got to end somewhere.
Yeah.
What if you drive right into the bunch?
I mean, that's a risk you got to take. Like I said, if you know your area, know your situation, I would assume, because we got the stealth up at Whiteman, that's going to be the key location. So the main force would be targeted that way. So I want to get away from that and try to get as rural as I can. I'm headed toward the Blue Hill.
The goal is to avoid the military at all costs and take out just as many civilians as they want. And by go time, like you wake up, you're right in this bitch. It is go time. Yeah. Obviously, kits are going on. Obviously, you're trying to get the closest people to you that you're connected with right? You're trying to reach out. What if there's no comms?
I'm assuming there's no comms. If they're going to get that far inside inland, or even if people get activated and they've killed our infrastructure, I mean, we're not going to be able to do anything anyway. So it's going to be me getting them to our location. And if we die, we die. But there's no second guessing it. I mean, you're already fucked. If they're
I look at it as, hopefully you have enough gas in your car to make it 200-300 miles.
Yeah.
Easy. You know what I mean? So if you're going off of that principle, if it's close enough to see that they're dropping in your area, you're either, okay, let me go find the squad that's about to kick some ass and do the fight, or let me get my family and my kids and get the fuck away. I mean, there's really only two choices, because they're there. So you either do with it or you leave. If it's
so are you hitting a rally point, hoping that other people that you've planned this out with are at the rally point, headed to the location? You're going straight to the location. That's the plan. See you guys there if you make it.
It's not so much about the location. At that point, it would just be drive until it's so secluded that there's really nothing to take, and then just camp out for a couple weeks and try to read the situation. So
literally, Red Dawn, head for the hills. Wait for it.
I mean, if they're coming in a parachute, what am I gonna do? I got a couple tools. I ain't ready.
But they're not just on parachutes. It's all kinds of foreigners that have been in our country for 20 years.
That's why knowing your roads is worth it. Knowing where the valleys are, the hay fields that you could drive straight through, the cornfields that are empty and full that you could drive straight through. Know where the obstacles are. Every week, you should be driving at least 20 miles around your area.
Hands down, the South will be the safest place.
I will say that with that being said, there's a lot of people that would love to live their Call of Duty moment.
I was going to say that.
And it sounds stupid, but I mean,
It's
do you
fucking
know how
true.
much justification you'd have if a whole bunch of people started landing? Not everybody, because someone's going to be like, oh, it might be our people. It might be 2 million of our people coming in here and landing, with
Fucking morons.
But if people started shooting on the ground and they saw it was hostile, I bet you there'd be a lot of people like, it's my fucking Wolverine time, and they're going to fucking try to do something. Whether they all die or they cower or half of it's just shit talking, I don't know. But
because a lot of it too is going to come down to if this happens automatically, your police department, your sheriffs, your fucking good old boys that you hate, you see every day. Those are going to be the people setting up the roadblocks. Your punk ass volunteer fireman that you cussed out 2 days ago. That's going to be the dude to tell you, no, you stop here. You don't want get away.
All right, Hutch. Let's say you get away as far as possible. You head for these woods, and you come across a small community there, and they all have signs in the front of the community that says Biden Harris 2024 ban AR-15s. What do you do with this group, these people that you find? Are you going to make friends with them, or are you going to blame them for the event?
The first thing you do is ask them if they already stole all those people's food, because they're obviously still alive and they're probably already.
If I got my family with me, real shit, if I got my family with me and we come across something like that, fuck yeah. I don't know why they try to get rid of Biden. That son of a bitch was coherent. Best president. Fuck yeah. Y'all got some hair dye? Shit. I'm a lesbian. Let's make this shit happen. You know what I mean? I'm doing what I gotta do to get through the situation.
What do they say? Is that
a woman? And this lady here is my wife, and she identifies as a woman as well, and we all both identify as lesbians. So
I'm like, oh my god, I'm so glad
you gotta introduce your wife as your husband.
Right? Yeah. I'm like, thank you for welcoming they and Zed into your community. We appreciate it. Oh yeah, I would play the part all day long. If it came down to Gray Man, man, Gray Man is going to save a lot of people's lives. You're going to have to swallow your pride and be around a whole bunch of despicable piece of trash motherfuckers just to survive. If you got to play that part, then you play that fucking part.
Smart move.
I think Hutch.
Hutch is cutting that beard off.
I think the first thing Hutch does.
I'll be a bear. I'll wear the leather strap. I ain't shaving for nobody.
He's a furry.
I think Hutch becomes the eunuch Ken doll, a eunuch Ken doll, and like he automatically says that he is transformed into Barbie.
Yeah, I gotta get it, guys.
All right, real quick before you go, Poppy, give the crazy eye in the camera and say, "It's my island."
What the fuck? It's my island. All right, see you later.
Perfect.
Hey, Pop B, wait.
Looks pretty cool.